Hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. We are back with more visual novels. Let's go. We're up to episode 3 of National Park Girls, and I'm proud of us because that means that not only did we come back for episode 2, we're going again, episode 3, and then after this, there's only 2 more. And who knows, maybe this stream could potentially go long, and we might be able to get through 2 episodes in 1. But anyway, congratulations to no one, okay? Wait. To no one. No one gets it. No one gets it, because you double dipped. You double dipped, so no one is special. No one is special today. The great equalizer. And that's the rule now. If you double dip, no one is special. We are all ordinary on this day. Thank you for making that a canon event. Thank you. We now know what we do when people double dip. But yeah, hello. Anyway, let's go over here. But yeah. Hi. So, yeah, I suppose I can say hi to everybody. These are usually nice, cozy little streams. Hi, Pondaful. Thank you for 18. That's a second stream, baby. It is. Can't believe it. Second stream, baby. Don't tell me life is gonna be this way. I've forgotten. Oh, right, friends. I was like, who says that? I was like, what's that from? I'm reading Matthew Perry's book, and I completely forgot that. Thank you, Wonderful. Thank you. And something. Thank you for an entire year. Thank you for all the memories. Thank you for the good times. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. I think we should raid different people. No. Listen, Donut Bro, it's not my fault that we keep running into each other, okay? It's not my fault that you and I watch the same people, okay? We have similar tastes in streamers, all right? We are going to run into each other around Twitch. I refuse to change my raid targets just because I watch the same people that you watch, okay? You don't own them. You don't own them. I don't own them. Don't be like, Vivi, stop raiding my streamers. There's plenty of room for all of us, okay? Okay? There's plenty of room. Thank you for 45 months. Thank you, Bro. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And Zem, thank you for an entire year. Thank you. That Vivi, my Oshi. Well, don't you want your Oshi to have lots of people to appreciate them? Come on. I'm just helping. Oh my gosh. Oh man. Hi everybody. Love the suit. Can't stay too long. That's all good. Have a good day at work, Neppy. Have a good day. I need to say hello to everybody. And then we're probably just gonna dive straight in because we're on episode 3. I have the explain command. So like last time, if anyone comes in and doesn't know what the fuck is going on, and they're like, what's the premise of this visual novel? I have been here for 2 seconds. Please do explain to explain to them what the visual novel is. I have written that, I've updated it, so it's entirely up to date now. There you go, see? So when people need to know, if somebody comes in and they go, what is this? Bam, you have the explain button at your fingertips. You can do it. So let me say hi. Oh, I can do this so fast. Let's go. Hi, Melkor. Hi, Casey. Hi, Shotgun. Hi, Jeremy. Super duper. Hi, Old Man Oil Tycoon. Hi, Something. Hi, Devyado. Hello, Alexandra. Hello, Scribbledib. Hello, J Thoofed. Hello, Snorksel. Hello, Plunderful. And hello, Paradoxica. Hello. Who else says Yosemite? Yeah, loads of people say it. That's how they say it. They say it in the game. They say Yosemite. I think the stream title, yeah, right? I feel like the stream title says a lot. I feel like the stream title says most of it. Hi, Linsnum, hello. Hi, Cooks, hello. And welcome, Smart Monkey, welcome. And hello, Zoe Deuce, hello. So yeah, I don't think there's anything, actually, no, wait, I completely... You know what? We won't worry about it. We won't worry about it this stream. I just realized there's new Gamer Sub stuff coming up because I saw it scroll across the top, but just keep an eye out. It's dropping soon. It's fine. I'll tell you about it tomorrow, okay? Just Use code Vivi for 10% off if you happen to pick anything up. Get us closer to Vivi Cop. And also Cinder Flavor is back. And what the fuck? Ha! Wonderful, thank you very much. What the? Thank you. Pundy, what the? Thank you so much. It hasn't been 10 minutes yet. And we've hit the goal, thank you. That feels like a lot. That feels like a lot. Why 12? Well, now it's a total of 160. Thank you so much for all of the support for all these months, all this time. Thank you. And also 25 this month, which is a lot. That is a lot. Thank you. Thank you very much. Fuck. Was not expecting it. Shipman, hello. Zavala, hello. I'm all over the shop now. By the way, Plentiful, that's not gonna stop me from trying to beat your score in Gooba Ball. I am gonna try. You cannot buy me off with subs. I will try. I will continue to try and beat your score because you have beaten me. And hello, Big Margarita. Hello. Okay. I'm so thrown now. All right, let's start things up. You welcome it? Hell yeah, let's go. Let's have some friendly competition. All right. Hopefully this is all good. Sion, thank you for 33 months. Thank you. Also, Matt, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the bunker. I don't know if I have to do like a quick recappy thing. Let me real quick just grab the key image so people can see. So in case you have not been here, just so you know what the characters look like, we have Eve, Yosemite, Zion, and Yellowstone. So first episode we met them all, and they live in the Yosemite Park. The parks are the girls. There was a fire, it started affecting her, so they put out the fire, and then they all became like found family. And then the second episode, Yellowstone is kind of, how do I put this? Taken for granted, and they were very mean to her, but now they are nice to her. Yay. And now we're up to episode 3, and episode 3 is about Zion. So Zion, I think, has been like best character for a little while. Yellowstone best girl, Zion close second. I think Zion was really good last episode, so I'm looking forward to this one. Also, hi, Swell Beast, hello. Boop. Okay. So yeah, that's, you're all caught up. Don't believe the volcano head. You're all caught up. All right. So we're just gonna get straight into it. Hopefully the audio levels are fine. Let's go. But yeah. So yeah, it starts off like immediately with a flashback, which is try to remember. Remember what she taught you. Her stories. Who she was. Who she still is.
Yosemite! Wherever are you hiding?
That voice.
Oh dear me. If she doesn't appear soon, I won't be able to tell her a story. Our picnic will be ruined. Whatever shall I do?
It still sounds so warm, as angelic as I remember. At least I can still do that much. Not all of us are so lucky.
Wait, I'm right here! I want to hear this story!
Did I seriously fall for that? Such a simple trick. Yet I can't help but wish to return to the days where I would fall for it.
Oh, I'm not so sure now. It's getting rather late. Perhaps we should return to the cabin.
Preposterous!
It's preposterous, dear.
Preposterous!
There was a quick rustle. My head popped out from the bush, or was it from behind a tree? Definitely some type of flora.
Please, Zion! I want to hear the story about this again. Tell me this story.
How are you making that sound with your mouth? What story was it? I'm not sure if I can recall it. It was something simple, right? A fable, I'm positive. The descriptor's on the tip of my tongue, I know it is. Hi, Cobra. So, why does the memory feel fuzzy when I think of it? Why does the word crackle out like radio static? Hi, wannabe weeb.
Goodness.
Hi,
I suppose
Robin.
I have no choice then.
Hi, Gray. Hello. Thank you guys for the hype train, which Plentiful slammed into level 4, which is incredibly sweet of you. Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
No, you certainly do not.
Zion laughed. Her laughter was always so beautiful, like a song. It would always draw the birds to her. They would perch themselves on her shoulders, her wings, her antlers. Back when she had antlers?
Very well. Come sit down, little one. You can't listen to a story from all the way over there, now can you?
Oh, I got an emote. What the? I got an emote. I got this one. I got a red card. It's like a panda or something. Hi, Jimmy. Is the deer anime? I wouldn't know. I haven't seen it. All I've seen is the... What's it called? The knuckle... Wait. What are the lyrics? I've completely forgotten. It's like the little dancing thing. I don't know the thing though. Yeah, I don't actually remember the lyrics. Yes! Shinokoko... is it? Shinokoto Kostantan. Yeah, that's all I've seen. I haven't watched anything else. Shikonoko noko noko Kostantan. Yeah, that's the one. I haven't actually watched it yet. Also, hi, Flame Fist. No, I've been watching, Dress Up, Darling. It's coming out July. Well, that would explain why I haven't seen it yet. Oh, wait. So she crawled out. Yeah. Okay. Sitting on a long toppled over tree, Zion patted her lap. Her gown fluttered all the way down her long body and drifted with the wind. I looked up to smile at her. I remember that much. And what? I looked up to smile at her and there was no face. That can't be right. But no matter how hard I try to remember, her face is a blur. Her voice was beautiful. Her build was tall. So what did she look like?
Coming!
I skipped over to where she was sitting, and the more I think about it, the blurrier it gets. Details begin to blend. The patches of dirt and grass I was romping across mixed together. They're a spiraling green and brown vortex now. Was it even a log she was sitting on? Could it have been a rock? By the time I'm sitting on her lap, it doesn't matter. By the time I was sitting on her lap, she was my anchor. Hi, Paladin.
Straighten your posture.
But Zion, must I really?
Only if you respect yourself.
Better be wearing a cow bikini or a cowboy hat. No, Yellowstone doesn't dress that way. Whining, I pulled back my slumped shoulders, then rolled my eyes at her. Except now I don't have a face either. Oh, shit.
Now?
Yeah. Zion nodded, but now it looks like watercolors sweating down a canvas.
Once upon a time, in a field. In the past, he had been...
I could make a this edible ain't shit joke, but I'm not going to.
including his clothes. While wandering the endless...
More vanishing words now? Why aren't they coming to me? Where did they go? Everything is congealing together now. Everything about this. I can only remember it as if I saw it all through tears. He said it was like, oh, okay. The world as I knew it is only a kaleidoscope now. A mesh of people, of colors, of sounds. Not this one. Please. Any memory but this. It's too precious. Let me hear it again. Let me hear the story. Let me hear your voice. Please.
Yosemite.
Yosemite.
There's a tug at my sleeve. I feel the breath leave my body as I gasp, pulling me back into consciousness. I jolly up in my seat. Okay, well that's clearly meant to be jolt. So that's one typo for this one. I think last chapter had one typo, so you know that's not too bad. So wait, Zion changed? We're learning that. We are. Zion flinches. Clenching my chest, I look down at her. Her wings are tucked in and wrapped around her like a blanket. The mangy puppy is at her side, standing guard in case I make any sudden movements.
Go back to sleep, boy.
Great! Thank you for 10 months! Thank you! Thank you for resubscribing with Prime. I appreciate it. Her voice is gentle but firm. Seeing such authority protrude from this new small body of hers is comical, but just like animals always do with her, the puppy listens, and after a cursory glance, it trots over to its overfluffed bed and lays down. Light has just barely begun to creep through the window. The entire cabin is tinted in an untouched blue. Scattered across the room, I can hear Yellowstone and the ranger's snoring. The ranger is louder. Hi, Az! Yeah, there is. There are keychain merch of them in the Studio Lounge store. I attempt to ask her what she's doing awake so early, but a yawn breaks through instead. Only an impression of a sentence comes out.
I'm always awake this early. It's peaceful.
Her wings spread out, their feathers puffing up. She plants her hands on her waist and gives me a scolding glance.
I think the real question is, why are you sleeping at the table? It's so hard and uncomfy. No wonder you mutter in your sleep.
RimWorld has music like this? Also, tell me if it's too loud or anything. I haven't changed the audio capture since last time.
I wasn't sleeping. It was just a quick cat nap.
Audio quality sounds a bit better than episode 2. The glare only gets more stern as she flaps her wings and hovers off the ground. Soft bursts of wind kiss my face. My only warning. Thank you, Robin.
You were buried in your research again.
Drat. These stacks of books and paper on the table always make it nothing but obvious.
Weren't you?
Even now, after all this time and all these changes, she's still like this. At least I can latch onto it and take some small comfort.
Can't get anything past you.
I give a fake sigh and let it dissolve into a smile.
I was.
There's not much else I can say that wouldn't just extend the theatrics. I'm stumbling over my words today. I apologize. Alan Checkerboard, thank you for your follow. Welcome to Bunker. Zion exhales deeply, leaning back on the ground. Instead of stern, she only looks worried now.
I know it means a lot to you. And I don't want you to stop or anything, but... you always get so cranky when you put too much of yourself into it. It's sad to watch when it happens. At least get some good sleep so you're well rested. Please?
She stares up at me, hands folded and pleading. There's warmth in her eyes, as there's always been. Yet, they aren't the same eyes I grew to cherish. They're different now. And they've been different for a long time.
Come here, little one.
I beckon her forward with my finger. She doesn't hesitate to come in for an embrace. Nuzzling in close, she squeezes me tight.
You know I get anxious real easy.
I know. Sorry for making you worry.
I pat her, bringing her with me as I do my best to rock back and forth in this chair. Yes, I can take comfort in the small reminders of the past, but it'll never be the same as when it was. Existing like this. Hugging her like this. Perhaps it's important to love it, despite everything. But it rings so hollow. I wish it wouldn't.
Say, Zion?
Her voice is muffled. She looks up, only hair and a pair of eyes, the rest of her still buried in my clothes.
Do you remember that story we like? The one you used to always tell me?
She tilts her head.
No. You and Yellowstone are the ones who tell stories. That's how it's always been.
No, not always.
Maybe I've told it to you before then. It's about an animal, right? Some kind of bird?
Clutching her head, she tries to squeeze the information out of herself, but it just ends up looking painful.
I think you mentioned something about it recently, but I don't remember. I'm sorry.
It's not surprising, but it doesn't keep it from being any less disappointing.
No need to apologize.
I bring her back in close. If she saw the look on my face, it would only worry her more. Hi, Fail Positive.
Occasionally, things just slip our minds. It's just Something that happens over time.
Episode 3. I have been well. I played the, what is it? The new...
For the love of God, Yellowstone. If you're gonna bellyache about
The
needing
smooshy.
help with the cleaning, then the least you can do is sweep up the soot from your head cano.
Head caner? Okay, I'm glad that it... Have they been calling it that this whole time? This feels new. I drag my finger along the floorboard. A chalky gray powder sticks to it. It's like someone sprinkled ashes from the fireplace.
You're yelling at air. She and Zion went out to find trouble hours ago.
Yosemite is sitting over at the table in her usual spot, because there is literally nothing better for her to do. But instead of flipping through a book or scribbling down notes in handwriting I cannot read for the life of me, she's just sitting there, her hands clasped together and resting beneath her nose.
I'm yelling at her in the general sense. It's a hypothetical yell.
How's the cold? It is quite cold. I have the heater on. I actually managed to turn on my heater this morning, so that's really nice.
It's not hypothetical if you say it out loud.
And it's not a Saturday morning if you aren't being a pain in the ass.
You love it.
I tolerate it.
Coffee?
She blushed. She blushed.
Please.
By the time I'm over at the table, she's already has a steaming hot cup of coffee for me, straight from the percolator.
I need this.
I think percolator was spelled wrong. I flop down in the chair. When I stare down into the cup, it's thick and black and swirling with just a little bit of sugar. Huh. She remembered. Here's to you, you overgrown tree.
Exasperating morning.
Every day of my life is exasperating. But this...
I take a quick gulp from my mug. If I don't breathe, it doesn't burn as bad.
This has the added bonus of being my day off.
That sounds like awful coffee.
Isn't that normally a good thing?
You would think so, right? But this also happens to be the day my boss is visiting.
The chatty woman who seems far more respectable than you? I assumed you two got along.
It's hard to get angry at that remark, even if it is chalked full of sass. Jessie is absolutely more respectable than me.
Oh, yeah, she's a hoot. But her mercy isn't eternal. Which means no messes, no coyotes, and I can't believe life has led me to a point where I actually have to say this out loud. No park girls.
Oh my god, they sound like magical girls when you say it that way. No park girls. Somebody raises an eyebrow, but I don't detect any of her usual smarm behind it.
Is that really what you call us?
Yes.
What, you want to be a ghost forever?
Her eyes slink down, scanning the permanent mess of research cluttering the table. A joyless smirk sprouts from her lips.
No,
National park girls,
I suppose
yes.
not.
Anyway, I was hoping to get Yellowstone's help with tidying up this sty, but seeing as she's not here...
I chug what's left of my coffee and slam it down with a satisfying clank.
You'll be helping instead.
You just decided that, huh?
Sure did. Not like you're actually doing anything productive.
That smacks of, like, mom being like, well, if you're not doing anything, do all these chores. And she isn't, unless you count staring at a wall productive. She's just been daydreaming all morning. I expect at least a little pushback, but aside from a dirty look, which, let's be real, is just her regular face, she starts organizing her research into nice, orderly stacks.
I'll help you out, but only so Yellowstone doesn't have more work to do. Try to tell me how to clean, and I'll use your hat as a rag.
She sounds utterly defeated while saying it. Did I stumble my way into taming her? Life really is full of happy accidents.
That's what I like to hear. See how
Yosemite being
peaceful
pretty is
things
very
can be when you
productive.
Just bend to my will.
I say it jokingly, but you know what? It's true. My life would be so much easier if everyone just listened to what I said.
Mm-hmm.
With her books and papers now compartmentalized, she places them inside the cardboard box that takes up half of the table, then lugs it over to the bookshelf. That's it? Just, No snide comments about squashing my growing ego, no sweeping declarations of hypocrisy. Must be an off day.
You feeling okay today? If you're running a fever, you should tell me now so I can report any fires before they get out of hand.
She walks past me and takes to the sink. Not even bothering to turn on the faucet, she wrings out the water from her hair and lets it run over the dirty plates in the sink. Slightly revolting? I guess, but I'm way beyond the point of thinking too hard about this kind of stuff.
I feel fine.
Turning away from me, she goes back to the dishes, brushing me off with a wave of her hand. Wouldn't that be cold water?
I have my doubts, but assuming
Hi,
you know how to
Celia's.
use a broom, get the area by the couch. That part of the floor is where Yellowstone sleeps.
Now that she mentions it, I don't think I've ever seen Yellowstone sleep on the couch. Yosemite guards with the ferocity of a Rottweiler, leaving poor Yellowstone to wiggle on the floor like a slug in her sleeping bag. It almost makes me feel bad for all those times I've kicked her out of bed. Almost. Hi, Lexi! Yeah, I'm adamant about finishing this. I'm going to actually finish a visual novel on stream. This is gonna be it. I want the achievements. I head for the closet and fish out the broom, dragging the brush along the floorboards as I head for the couch. It's really the most efficient way to clean the maximum amount of space. Which chapter is this? 3! We're halfway. It doesn't take long for Pup to take notice of it. He crouches onto his front paws, his tail wagging in the air as the broom skids around like prey.
Don't you even!
That was my first mistake, because when I yank the broom back, he pounces. I'm sorry. I love when people have to voice animals and you just hear, yeah, beep, 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 beep. He lands on the head of a broom. I feel the weight immediately, unable to even tug on it without pulling him along too.
No.
As if challenging me, he bites into the brush. How many of you can actually do like a convincing like dog bark? It's funny because like I've seen so many VTubers kind of get goaded into it. It was sort of like a bit of a joke a couple of years ago to do like you'd either go like hada hada or you'd do like a really convincing dog bark. It was one or the other. It was one or the other. You had to either other or bark. Or go nya. There was a nya as well, I think. People don't do it as much anymore though. Bark!
You little gremlin!
I try to pull it away from him, but he just takes that as his cue to pull it towards himself. Hippo
Let's
sound.
Go.
Hippos make really loud sounds, I think. You can meow pretty I can meow sometimes. I feel like I can't do it on command though. I pull. He pulls. Amazing. He baited me into playing tug-of-war, but it was his plan all along. As much as I would love to spend more time with the goodest boy in the whole world, I decide to end it then and there. I drop the broom and walk over, picking him up by the scruff of his neck.
God, you're getting so heavy.
It's like he knows it too, because he just pants happily while he dangles there. He really has grown since I was first stationed here. Before I could easily pick him up with one hand. Now it's a bit of a workout.
Bad.
He licks his chops.
But also, so good.
That's convincing talking to a dog tone. Too much of a sucker to do any actual scolding, but at the same time, he's too much of a liability right now. Jessie would have my head and probably do the decapitation herself if she saw him. I love what they do with the sprites. I reckon it's quite clever. I carry him over to the door and toss him onto the porch, slamming the door shut before he can charge back in. He'll just have to stay outside until the visit is over. Oh! There it is, the waterworks. The saddest ow in the world. Not long after, he starts scratching at the door.
Is leaving him out there a good idea? What if he goes to the campground?
Great. He'll love the attention. You should have seen him when he was down there last week. All the kids were begging their parents to take him home.
That's a bad thing?
It's a thing. Humans are hardwired to love the cute little fuzzy wuzzies.
Pop scratching at the door stops. Yosemite freezes, dropping a plate in the sink. It doesn't shatter, but I wish it did, because at least that would end the silence. Her head turns. The only word I can use to describe the look on her face would be concerned. I cough, because any noise will ease my discomfort at this point.
Anyway, it's not a big deal. Just until Jessie leaves.
Yosemite rolls her eyes and shrugs off the encounter. I make the walk of shame back to the broom and start to sweep.
So tell me, Ranger, why is she coming? Doesn't she typically call you over the radio to check in?
She said she just wanted to catch up. Lord knows why when she has 1,000 more important things she could be doing.
The dust on the floor has barely moved. It's just more smeared around now. Damn broom must be defective.
Maybe she considers you important.
I stop.
For her sake, I hope she doesn't. I'm just gonna keep letting her down.
It's already happened more times than I can count. This last time, she was the only thing standing between me and unemployment. I still have no idea how she managed to get the lawsuit swept under the rug.
Knowing her, though, I'm sure she'll just keep poking her nose into my business.
I just realized this game and also Still Wakes the Deep, we have played 2 games this week where the main character has punched somebody in the face, and that's how the story starts. Is that a common way to start a story, I wonder?
Don't take it for granted. You might not always have someone like that.
Yosemite doesn't stop washing the dishes this time, but there's an unfamiliar weight behind her words. A tinge of wistfulness.
Yeah, I know.
It's weird. No matter how hopeless I became, Jessie was the only person who constantly insisted that this job has any value. That I have value. I don't know if she's right, but sometimes it was enough to actually make me feel like I was important.
Since when did you start giving good advice?
Since before you were born. But you're just too stubborn to listen.
Now I want the Vivi Plays games where you punch people in the face, Ark.
Nah, that
We'll find
can't be
some.
right.
A collage of muffled stomps and voices practically breaks down the door. Such an unfocused racket, it sounds like a middle school marching band just descended upon the porch. Yellowstone's voice carries a tune from outside. My ears are already bracing for impact. She swings open the doors, striking the wall with the doorknob. The dishes on the counter rattle.
I've been working on the railroad
Off she
all the
goes.
livelong day.
She marches into the cabin, caked from head to toe with dry mud, and tracking it right behind her.
I've been working on the railroad just to pass the time away.
Zion's my favorite. Zion trots in behind her, singing the rest of the verse. She's also drenched in mud, everywhere from her angelic hair to her pretty gown. At least she has the decency to fly instead of getting it on the floor, though.
Can't you hear the whistle blowing? Rise up so early in the morn.
She stomps around the room, spreading the gospel of mud from floorboard to floorboard. Zion follows behind her, happily. I can feel the scowl forming across my lips, my eye twitching.
Can't you hear the whistle blowing?
Finally, once there's a trail of muddy footsteps spiraling around the cabin, Yellowstone makes her way to me and leans in.
Dinah blow your horn.
She pulls down on the air twice like a train whistle. I think she's done. There's a long pause as Yellowstone waits for something. Maybe it's a smile, or maybe she's waiting for me to crack.
What's the matter, Ranger? Ain't you gonna say howdy?
You.
Yellowstone!
You.
My voice is a low growl.
Yellowstone?
Why is she saying her name like a Pokemon? Her voice is a scared whimper.
Do you realize what you have just done?
I grip her shoulders, digging my fingernails into her clothes. She shrinks back, and I feel like a giant. The fear swims in her eyes.
Did I sing too loud?
Look.
My hands move from her shoulders to her head. I twist her to each spot on the floor that mud is stuck to, forcing her to face the destruction she has wrought.
Oh, that ain't a big dealio. I can clean that up lickety-split.
Lickety split, huh? How long is that? It better be seconds because my boss will be here any minute.
Oh, jeez. I had no idea. Honest.
Idea.
I'm real sorry, Eve. Let me try and make it up to you.
As good as it fuck, I can't say these words. As good at it as I am. There we fucking go. It's hard to stay angry at her for too long. With how often she cleans this place, I know she didn't do it on purpose. All she's guilty of is being an airhead, and getting uppity with an airhead just makes me a tyrant. I sigh, down from fury to mild annoyance. Progress.
Don't worry about it. We'll clean it up together.
She's not an airhead, she's a mountain head. But I'm dumb. Looking over at her, it's hard to not at least smirk. You ever see a teenager fall off a skateboard and eat dirt? It's kind of like that. Okay, I think out of the episodes we've seen so far, this one has had the most typos, like little glossed over.
Look at you. You're filthy. How do you even get mud in some of these places?
I dab my finger on my tongue and wipe some of the grime off her volcano. The brat groans and pouts about it, but by the time I'm done, I can see my reflection. Yeah, they're working on a remastered one. I remember somebody came in, I think, when I played the first chapter and told me. I kind of hope they have achievements again, because then I'll have the excuse to play it all over again.
Same goes for you, Zion. What on earth did you get up to? You look like a derelict.
For as much grief as I give Yellowstone for her butchering of the English language, at least she's not trying to bring it back to the 19th century, like Yosemite.
Well, we were out picking mushrooms.
What game? This one! So, National Park Girls comes in 5 episodes. They're gonna be, they're gonna do like a bind up of all of them, which will be a new release, and then they will delist all of the episodes, so you just buy it in like one package instead of, you know, individually. So I hope that they do it again, so there's more achievements. Yeah, the I Love Our Parks edition. Yes. I want there to be achievements for that one too, because I know that there's achievements for all the episodes. Because then, we're using this term a lot today. Double dipping, let's go.
And you avoided the poisonous ones, right?
Hi, Yoshi. Yosemite squats down, wringing water out of her hair and onto her jacket. As if polishing a plate or a car, she wipes the smudges off Zion's face and makes an attempt to get some of the mud crusted to her hair.
Mm-hmm. Yellowstone almost ate one, but then I told her what you told me. That ego death stuff gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Ego death? Just what exactly are in the mushrooms in Yosemite National Park?
But afterwards, we decided that plain old mushrooms just weren't enough. So we decided to make mud pies.
Oh no.
It was very exciting.
Yosemite's eyes are a smithery, and the daggers are being sharpened as she looks to Yellowstone.
And you let this happen?
Sure did. We even used my head as an oven so the pies would get nice and warm.
I chop Yellowstone's volcano to shut her up. The ridges scrape my hand.
You already dug your grave. Don't give the eulogy too.
Oh, Flame Fist. I'm not gonna go for retro achievements because some of them are a little bit too rough for me. I saw the ones that the Spyro GBA games have. I cannot do that. I'm just gonna stick with Steam achievements. They're just a little bit easier for me to chase after. Yosemite's ire has been delayed. For now. She sighs and returns her focus to Zion.
Honestly, Zion, it's perfectly okay if you want to play, but does it have to be so dirty? It's unsightly.
Unsightly? Please. Since when did you become Victorian?
I snort. This girl has the weirdest hang-ups.
I'm not happy with it either, but she's just a kid. Let her have her fun.
Don't call her that.
Yosemite snaps at me like a cornered dog. Both me and Yellowstone flinch. But when she looks back at Zion, all is well. She gives her a smile, brushing her fingers through Zion's hair.
Ignore her. You're a beautiful and proper young lady. Like you've always been. Just be sure to act like it, okay?
Yosemite's smile looks like it's starting to strain, forming dimples I've never seen before. Yellowstone looks away, frowning as she bends down to pick up the broom. Poor Zion can only silently beg me for help. Sorry, kid, but I don't think Yosemite is going to let me win this one. Finally, she settles on Yosemite and tries to force her own smile. Her desperation for this moment to end is practically carved into her eyes.
Okay. I'll try to be more careful and not get dirty when playing from now on.
She pats Zion on the head and stands up, massaging the bridge of her nose like she was just struck with a migraine.
Sweetie,
Zion snaps to attention.
be a dear and dust off the top of the bookshelf for me, please. It's the easiest for you to reach.
Yes, of course. I'll get right on that.
Because I live in a nightmare, Zion plucks a feather from one of her wings, then flies up to the top of a bookshelf to use as a duster. Yosemite lumbers over to the sink, returning to the dishes, and leaving me and Yellowstone alone in the middle of the cabin. Happy Tubatuk! I lean in and whisper as she uses the broom to swat out the dust under the couch.
Why do I feel like I just witnessed something kind of gross?
She whispers back.
'Cause Yosemite's got it bad.
Has what?
Yosemite feigns a cough from across the room.
I'll see to my own as I deem fit, Ranger. Now get to cleaning before the better version of you arrives.
Damn, I think she could hear us. She's not wrong about that last bit, but I resent that first half. I've been here long enough to know to at least have some say in exactly how we play house.
Mama Bear Syndrome.
Ah. Yellowstone finishes her secret and slides off with the broom. It's none of my business. I won't make it my business. But if I were to make it my business, which I'm not, there would be an uneasy tickle crawling down my neck. Who knows, though? It wouldn't be the first time a hunch ended up being the common cold. We all get down to business and go about cleaning the cabin. Much to my endless relief, getting the mud out isn't as hard as I thought it would be. That's hardwood for you. Floor as God intended it. As sure as the sun will swallow the earth, Jesse arrives right on time. 3 knocks clatter at the front door.
Knock, knock.
We all freeze. 3 sets of eyes look to me.
Crap, it's Jessie!
We can see that.
Technically, we can hear it.
If her perfume is as strong as last time, we might be able to smell it too.
We really need to have a talk with Yellowstone soon.
Sorry for being a minute late. I
Why?
locked the keys in the truck and it was just a whole big thing.
She grunts and I hear the porch creak.
Could you come open the door for me? I'm carrying a lot of stuff and it's actually
Another grunt.
a little heavy.
Her muffled voice sounds pathetic on the other side of the door. Sorry, Jesse, you'll have to wait a bit longer.
Sorry, I'm naked?
Well, that works.
You're a terrible liar.
And you're just terrible. Now, go disappear or whatever it is you things do.
The 3 girls come together to lock hands. Zion grabs a fine strand of her muddy hair and whines.
We're still so dirty.
Let's just splash around in the river and wash it all off.
I don't think so. You'll be using the campground showers like respectable...
All 3 of them vanish right in the middle of Yosemite's lecturing. A gust of wind rushes through my hair. Silence has never been so therapeutic.
Please. Gravity is kicking my butt.
Coming!
I sprint over to the door and open it for her. Just in time, too, because Jessie looks like she's about to be crushed by the weight of all the grocery bags she's holding.
Hi, Eve.
I think her muscles might collapse. The things I make this poor woman endure. The only comfort I can give her is a pitiable smile. I take half of the bags and balance them in my arms as I wobble to the table.
You're an angel.
That's a first.
We drop all the bags on the table and catch our breaths. Produce and snacks slide out and spread across it.
Whew. Oh, my eyes just about bulged out of my head when you faxed me your grocery list. You must be a hungry gal.
I'm bulking.
And by bulking, I mean running my ass off so Yellowstone's cooking doesn't lead to the growth of said ass. Seriously, she has so many dishes she wants to try out, I can't keep up.
Well, Whatever you're doing, I'm just glad it's making you happy.
She flops down in the chair Yosemite usually sits in and takes off her hat so she can fan herself with it.
Oh, wasn't aware I gave off the impression of someone who was happy.
I slump down in my chair and rest my chin on the table.
Not on the outside. We haven't gotten that far yet. But I have reason to believe that on the inside, your heart is at least half full.
48 minutes. What important lore did I miss? Does somebody want to fill Snow in? I'm trying to think. How would you summarize things? We're clearly getting a lot of Zion lore. We're getting a lot of Zion lore. Zion clearly used to not always be little cute angel lolly. But we haven't seen and we don't know exactly what happened yet. So we're just about to learn. We're learning this.
Quit with the poetry and spill the dirt you have on me.
My muscles tense up. She couldn't possibly know anything about the girls, could she? Jessie slips a stack of folded papers out of her breast pocket.
This right here,
She slices it through the air.
it's a stack of complaints.
Campers couldn't take the heat, huh?
These are all from the rangers who work the station across the clearing.
Huh, what a surprise.
Oh, aren't the hacks upset because they can't do their jobs right?
I put on my best baby voice, and honestly, I think it's hilarious. But Jessie must think otherwise, because she just gives me a flat glare.
Let's read a couple, shall we?
Ugh.
My kicks. That's a good time for me to use this. Boop. There you go. Rolling my eyes, I rip open one of the bags of teriyaki jerky Jessie brought. She gives a distinguished cough as she unfolds the papers and begins reading.
Ranger Adams is highly competent at her job.
More than them, at least.
I answer with half-chewed jerky still in my mouth.
However, her confrontational demeanor and rigid personality often puts her at odds with the other rangers.
Rigid? That's a new one.
Jessie scoffs as she moves on to the next file.
On various occasions, Ranger Adams has insisted that I am incapable of properly doing my job, and in one such instance, implied a threat of bodily harm against me by making a strangling motion when she believed my back to be turned.
Okay, that skid mark is a trust fund baby. He's only here because his old man rubbed elbows with the last secretary up in Washington.
Nepo baby!
This one is my favorite.
She reads off the next one in her stack.
Despite only working Mondays through Fridays, Ranger Adams routinely comes into the station on weekends to file paperwork that is not her own and investigate office supplies to make sure they are, and I quote, up to regulation standard.
What's the problem?
They were printing out fire permits on yellow paper, Jessie. Yellow paper! I know things are always tight around here, but I couldn't just let them do that!
She takes off her hat and fans herself with it, strands of her hair blowing past her smug face. Instead of saying anything, she just smiles.
So what? You here to scold me then?
At first. But you know those rate how we're doing sheets?
The ones that no one ever fills out?
I wouldn't be so sure about that.
From her breast pocket, she takes out a stack of paper. This one is way thicker, though, like a deck of cards. She slides it over to me.
Pissed off that many people, huh?
Give yourself more credit. These are all compliments.
Oh my god, we're doing a good job!
What? That can't be right.
She's teasing me. That has to be it. Oh, fuck off. You don't believe it, Coppertine? But we've been doing so good. I spider crawl my fingers to the paper, but stop just shy of grabbing it to read. No one actually has the willpower to tolerate me finger wagging them for more than 5 minutes. Maybe here or there, but only on the rare occasion when they're actually interested, or if they're pretending to be polite. But I have to. It's my job to nag them into safety, so that maybe they take care of themselves and the planet around them. Maybe.
Every single one of these praises you by either name or description. There's a few bits here and there about scaring small children, but generally speaking, they love you.
She clasps her hands together and rests her chin on the back of them. The look in her face isn't smug anymore. It's scarier. It's that genuine glint of warmth in her eyes. It's pride. It makes me uncomfortable. Not because the crushing duty of obligation or anything. Nothing like that. Because it's what's written on these sheets is real, then that would imply that the Eve who is here now is, well, different than the one who was exiled to this cabin.
What they love is a ranger in a big hat who can do the whole shtick and gimmick with them. I'm a walk-around character in a theme park!
I slide the papers back to her, but she pushes them right on back.
What you are is someone people can rely on and learn from. Encapsulating ideals doesn't make you a fraud, Eve. You don't pick fights for no reason. You're honest. That's something people
Yellowstone
respond
designed to
to.
have written them.
And there's not a soul alive who doesn't have an opinion on honesty. That's why I love these. Even the complaints. They tell me that you're showing the rest of the world what I already know about you.
That's something I don't think I'm ready to believe.
I think you put too much stock in everyone.
And I don't think you put in enough. Try having faith in your fellow man for once.
She can generalize it as that, but I don't think it's my fellow man I'm not ready to have faith in. Looking down at this stack of paper is like looking down at a Bible. Thick, daunting, and tells me more about myself than I would like to know.
I'll let you keep those.
Jessie shoots me a smirk that turns into a grimace. Her hand springs for her back as she lets out a pained grunt. Me, hashtag me. I wince as she tries to soothe the pain. She makes the discomfort vivid enough for me to feel through osmosis.
How's that back of yours doing?
You have to earn the Yuri, Donut Bro. You have to earn it. You haven't earned it yet.
So, kind of you to ask.
All she can do is groan. Her entire upper body looks stiff as a plank.
Let's get you over to the couch.
I move to get out of my chair, but she waves her hand at me to stay away.
Let it happen. Let it happen.
A whole dramatic command somehow makes its way through her teeth. I swear, sometimes she's just as stubborn as me. What? Have you not had that? Is that not something you guys say to yourselves when, like, you're going through intense pain? I don't know. I've had that with cramps where it's like, write it out. Write it to hell. I think that's from 30 Rock, and they're talking about, like, a heart attack or something. But, like, I don't know. Sometimes you know that the pain is just gonna happen, so you just gotta get through it. Let it happen. After a few more moments of her gritting her teeth and willing her way through the worst of it, she collapses in the chair and catches her breath.
You're going to overwork your way back into the wheelchair, you know?
I see my doctor has gotten to you too, huh?
Doesn't take a PhD to give common sense. Seriously, just take this surgery, Jessie.
And be out for a month? I don't think so. What would everyone do without me?
We'd manage.
What, the gift shop?
Ha ha ha. Doesn't even take a second for her to correct the record.
I'm sorry, that was really mean. I love you all. You all do such wonderful work.
Look at you. You can't even claim a small victory without stressing out over it.
She whines like a teenager.
I know. I blame all this paperwork. It's a lot of sitting down at desks, and my back just never took to it after the promotion. I'm filing more reports now than I ever did working patrol down in Santa Monica.
Now that I believe. This woman's existence, well, that I find a bit harder to take. After getting crippled into an early retirement, she trains her way out of borderline paralysis, then takes a job with the park service. She's nuts. Certifiable, even.
Just try taking it a little easier. You're not getting any younger.
Hey! What's that supposed to mean? My 30s aren't sunsetting just yet.
Yay!
Of course not. It's more like golden hour. Yeah.
Golden hour! By the way, guys, we may need to think of a new tag. Apparently, 20-year-olds are using the hag tag. We're gonna have to find something new. Apparently 20-year-olds are being like, hags can be anything over 18, and it's like, no. Get the fuck out, right? They're actually like, stop gatekeeping, hacking. Words mean things, right? Right? Yeah, we're gonna have to find something. We're gonna have to find something. Gatekeep harder. Stolen hack fellow, insane. I want to be involved too. Kern. Her back must be feeling a hell of a lot better because now she's clasping her chest, wounded by the truth.
Oof. Even your platitudes are cutting.
I thought you liked my honesty.
Not when I'm
I
on the
know,
other
see?
end of it.
Jessie pouts to herself, then sighs. She whispers something I'm pretty sure she wants me to hear anyway.
Work in progress, Jessie. Work in progress.
Hat! She twirls her hat and slips it back on, then cautiously rises up from the chair.
What? You're leaving already? You just got here.
Just because it's your day off doesn't mean it's mine. I can't stay here and chit-chat forever.
Stretching, she lifts her arms over her head, lets all the slipped discs and nerves crack back into place. She gives me a chirpy little smile.
Unless you say please.
I slide out of my chair, walk over, grab her shoulders, then shove her towards the door.
Yeah. Please leave.
She chuckles as I escort her. Honestly, I am sad to see her go so soon. Jessie might be the only person in this entire park that I haven't pushed away through the years, even as I'm physically pushing her away from me. She actually cares about me. God knows why.
Oh, before I forget, what's on your agenda today?
What? We stop at the door. A strong wind blows into the cabin. I look off into the distance, and instead of morning birds fluttering through a blue sky, I see a stroke of dark gray forming on the horizon.
Looks like it's fixing to rain, so I guess I'll go see if anyone needs help keeping the water out of their tents. Maybe drop by the station and make sure nothing is leaking.
The jesters over there probably would sooner let it flood than think to put a bucket underneath a leak.
Yeah, don't do that.
Oh my god, Snow! Get that Vulcanussy, let's go!
They think I dropped by to chew you out? Take it easy on them for a few days, and if they ask, just say I made you cry.
There goes my agenda.
For Pete's sake, Eve! It's your day off! Get some hobbies!
I stand in stunned silence as she marches over to the truck.
I have hobbies.
Jessie snorts. I have hobbies. She climbs into the cab and starts the ignition. Leaning out the door, she shouts over the engine.
Coffee doesn't count. Go read that book you ordered. Should be with the groceries.
Book?
When did I order a book? All I faxed her was my grocery list.
Ta-ta for now. I'll radio you later.
I think Yosemite slipped in an Amazon order. Jessie twinkles her fingers out the window and salutes me a goodbye. As I watch her drive out of the clearing, I just feel more confused. She said plenty of confusing things this morning. The biggest being that crap about me being someone that people can rely on. But that still doesn't explain what book she was talking about. The truck coughs and wheezes down the clearing and onto the dirt road. It climbs over the bend in the horizon. When it's out of sight, I step back into the cabin. My gaze shifts over to the table, and in my head, I sift through the groceries. It's vague, but I can make out the rectangular shape of a book pressing against one of the bags. Weird. Really weird. In what's been a rarity since the day I was first stationed here, the cabin is silent. Even if the girls are just in another room, it's the first time in a while I don't have curious or prying eyes on me. The whole space feels dead and empty. Maybe a while back I would have liked it, but now it just feels unnerving. I go to the table and unpack the entire produce aisle from the bag. Sure enough, a paperback is waiting for me near the bottom. So new and unread, the cover still has a gleam to it. The Proust? I think it's Proust. No, I always fuck this up. It's not Proust, it's gotta be Proust, right? The Proust effect. Senses as doorways to lost memories. I pick it up and flip it over. It doesn't take more than reading the first sentence in the summary to know that this is a Yosemite purchased. Of course it is. Who else but her? All she reads is pseudoscience and history. Then she tries to mix the two until they form theory salad. Still, Yosemite isn't someone who wastes their time without reason. There's always a logic to it, as warped as it might end up being. So it makes me wonder, what kind of mind labyrinth is she exploring right now? And to put a finer point on it, why didn't she mention it? The knob to the bathroom turns as the door squeaks. I chop the door so fast, it may as well be my college philosophy class.
Rub-a-dub-dub! Thanks for the scrub.
Oh, cute! They have I Heart Zion shirts!
I only understood half of that, but you're welcome.
Thank you very much, Yosemite. Sorry for getting messy.
You're very welcome, sweetie. Just be more careful next time.
The three park girls prance out of the bathroom, not a single speck of mud to be found on Yellowstone or Zion. Some of the outfits I've gotten used to seeing them wear, they're both wearing matching oversized t-shirts. An I Love Zion National Park shirt for Yellowstone, and an I Love Yellowstone National Park shirt for Zion. That's so cute! Aww. It's so disgustingly adorable, my body has a physical reaction to it. Like my heart is melting or something. I hate it. But also I kinda love it. Yosemite seems to be having a similar reaction, except her gushing is focused more or less on Zion, who she watches with this dopey smile, until our eyes meet. Then she just frowns.
What's wrong with you? Just see a ghost?
I'm sure there are shirts at, like, the national parks. I'm still hovering over the table like a weirdo, with the book now laying lopsided on the table. Totally not suspicious, Eve. Your snooping is both subtle and inconspicuous. You had to unpack the groceries! That's not that bad to find the book. Clearing my throat, I slink away from the scene of my crime. Hopefully it doesn't look as suspicious as I feel.
Sure did. 4 of them, in fact. Every day.
I'm going to avoid this conversation, so just roll with this, okay? Somebody eyes me, both of us taking mirrored steps to our new positions. Me to the couch, her to the table.
Oh, who's the fourth?
But why? What are you hiding, Ranger? I shoot her a pair of finger guns and click my tongue like the smooth criminal I know I absolutely am not.
The one I see in the mirror.
She finger gunned! Yay! Ba-bam! Doesn't matter. Just let the conversation die, you entitled shrub. Her brow furrows. She stares down at the table for a long time, squinting as she focuses in on something. It has to be the book. She's too savvy for her own good. She knows I saw it, and now I'm going to get a lecture for not minding my own business. Despite her not telling me she was ordering it to begin with.
Your self-deprecation is boring. I'm starting to think it's the only gimmick you have.
It's cute that you think that you can hide things from me. Be sure your sins will find you out, because if they don't, I will. Oh god, here it comes.
What are these?
She picks up the folded stack of visitor surveys Jessie left here and waves them through the air. An audible groan slips out of me. Somehow, this is even worse than if she figured out I saw the book.
Visitor surveys. Jessie thought they were important enough for me to see.
And I suppose you're ecstatic for the new fireplace kindling.
Good night, Alexandra. Sleep well.
Not today. Everything in that stack involves yours truly.
What did you do this time?
A good job, apparently.
I scoff while saying it, because if I'm being honest, I still don't buy it. Maybe we just got a weird batch of visitors, or maybe those surveys are so layered with sarcasm it flew over Jessie's head. She's nice enough for that to happen. Whatever it is, it's not me. Yosemite scrambles to unfold the surveys. Her eyes scan across the paper, going from side to side as she reads from top to bottom. When she's done, her ears twitch and perk up.
Eve,
This is positive. Glowing, even.
I'll take your word for it.
Once I've had time to digest everything, I'll start going through all of them. But right now, the idea of reading them reminds me of hearing my voice come out of a phone or radio. Video. Damn, I'm living in the past. Force is a specific kind of objectivity that I'm not ready for. I'm a streamer, it's every day you gotta do that. But Yosemite is ready for it. She laps that stuff up, flipping from page to page, devouring each one faster than I'm convinced she can actually read. She stops on one. A warm smile, untainted by her ego or usual sarcasm, spreads across her face. A flushed red crosses her cheeks, and pebble-like freckles glitter beneath the red. It reminds me of a vivid sunset.
I'm keeping this one.
Real talk, I'm seeing myself too much in Eve. That's kind of what's nice about visual novels like this, I think. They're good for introspection.
Those are official files that are technically property of the federal government.
Stop reading those.
And now this one is an official document for my records. Ha ha ha!
Yosemite's head bobs to her fake laugh. She rolls the one paper into a tube and slides it into her jacket. The rest she puts back down on the table. This entire time, Zion has been eyeing our groceries and pursing her lips, as if she's waiting for us to finish our conversation. Such a considerate little cherub.
Yellowstone, did you see? Miss Eve's mom brought groceries.
Miss Eve's mom! My what?
I sure did. It's a freight load of it, too. Now I can whip up all those vegetarian recipes you wanted me to try. Thanks, Mama Eve.
Thanks, Eve's mom.
Let me stop you there. Jessie is
Cute.
my boss, not my mom. What kind of mental gymnastics did you do to get that
Miss
idea?
Eve's mom has got it going on, and by it I mean groceries. The idea that she looks old enough to be my mom would cause what's left of Jessie's ego to crumble into dust if she... That's true, actually. That is true. I feel like if I don't know, if I went out with, like, my cousin or something, like, to a store or something, and they thought that I was her mother, I would probably not talk to anybody for, like, at least 6 months. If somebody's like, is this 20-year-old your daughter? I'd probably be like, okay, no more outside for me.
Oops, that's my bad.
Luckily, that's never happened to me. Yet. Zion gives an apologetic bow.
She's so kind and gentle with you. I just assumed.
Brought some guy I knew home with me to do some stuff, and he thought my mom was my older sister. Needless to say, I'm pretty sure she had a huge ego. See, that's cute. That's cute. Like the whole like, oh, is this your sister? That's adorable. Like a drunk kicking open the church's door mid-sermon, Yellowstone barges back into the conversation.
Yeah, plus you talk to her like a cranky teenager.
I went outside very briefly today, Copatine. I went to go check my mail, and the sun was really nice. And I just kind of stood there for a little bit and soaked up some sun for like 3 minutes. Which I probably looked like a huge weirdo. Like, imagine just standing on your front lawn for 3 minutes. That was me.
Thank you, Yellowstone.
And she's taller than ya.
Thank you, Yellowstone.
And you wear the same clothes.
'Cause it's our
Aw,
uniform.
hi, Rezzy.
What planet do you live on?
Meanwhile, Yosemite's doing a terrible job of trying to hide her amusement. Her puffed out cheeks are the only things that keep her cackling at bay.
Perhaps she's the better version of you after all.
I collapse on the couch, tossing my arm over my eyes as a makeshift sleep mask. Wake me up when this tangent is over.
And the better version of you is the one on postcards. Now shove it.
For a brief, wondrous moment, all is quiet. Then I feel a weight press down on one of the couch cushions. I uncover my eyes and get a view of one of the lesser-known sights in this park. Yosemite's back. She sits on the edge of the couch, close enough for me to catch the smell of lemongrass and pine needles that always accompany her, but far enough for me to not kick her off for invading my personal space. She can stay. For now.
So now that your little get-together with Jessie has been adjourned, how do you plan on wasting the rest of your day off?
It's only a waste if I spend it with you.
Sick bun.
Is that your answer then?
I give the best shrug I can while lounging on a couch.
Boss lady told me not to piss off the bums at the station, so my plans for the day are dead. Might still go down to the camp and help people prep for the rain, though.
Very Sun moment. Very. Maybe do some journaling inside Teddy. Agonize over whether or not I want to read those surveys. After all, they aren't technically real until I read them.
Actually,
Actually. Yellowstone pokes her head over the back of the couch, thrusting her volcano between me and Yosemite.
as much as I admire you not having any hobbies, because you're such a stickler for your work and all, I think there was something Zion wanted to bring up with you gals.
Why is everyone so stuck on this today? I have hobbies. Lots of them. You'd at least need an entire hand to list them all of. Yellowstone waves over Zion.
Don't be shy, cutie. We're gonna go gaga for the idea.
Yosemite and I pass unsure glances at each other. Pretty sure the last time I went gaga over something was when I was an infant. Twiddling her thumbs and staring at her feet, Zion floats to the front of us, as if being forced to introduce herself to the rest of the class.
I didn't want to bring it up in case Miss Eve had any plans, but if it's okay, I'd like to make a suggestion.
Go ahead and say what you need to.
Yosemite's tone is light, airy, and oozing with adoration. She treats Zion with kids' gloves, while the rest of us get the boxing gloves instead.
Well, you've been living with us for some time now, Miss Eve. And while it was an adjustment, it's also been very wonderful. Things are much more lively now.
While I appreciate the sentiment, I think, why does it feel like she's about to say, but it's not working out?
Unfortunately, it's not often that the four of us get to spend time together. What with you and your work, Yosemite and her research.
This game came out 5 years ago. Yeah, half a decade. Let's go.
Yellowstone spreading chill vibes.
Yes, and Yellowstone spreading her message of chill vibes. We all spend time together, but we don't spend time together. It can get rather lonesome.
Aw, she's lonely.
Preach it, sister!
Yellowstone gives a sagely nod, but I'm not sure I buy the illusion.
So if it's not an issue,
Yeah, it came out
perhaps we can all
2019.
spend today, well, together.
Over the course of her pitch, Zion's face has been getting progressively pinker, the monumental task of addressing us all at once too much for her timid soul to bear. A stark contrast to the righteously furious angel that delivered a hellish tongue lashing upon Yosemite not too long ago. That was a good moment that was last stream. That was really good. But between all the stutters, gulps, and pauses, she still managed to spit the whole thing out. It's enough to make me at least humor the suggestions. Yeah, it came out before
Did
COVID.
you have anything in mind?
Hi, Red Fox.
Actually, there was...
How about a picnic?
Yosemite cuts Zion off and does it with a smile on her face.
Ooh, I'm always down for a good old-fashioned picnic. We can have macaroni salad, P&P sandwiches,
Hi, Yonya Bro.
PB and P?
peanut butter and pickles, you goofball.
Is that a thing? Has anybody had that?
Picnic is fine, but I veto whatever that is.
It is? Yeah, it could work, you reckon? Because, like, I like pickles, and I like peanut butter, but I don't know if I'd like them together. It's not that bad. Okay. Before Yellowstone can whine about it, Zion wiggles back into the discussion that she sparked. Hi, Recluse.
Isn't it going to rain, though? I was thinking we could do something inside. Board games, charades. That might be nice.
She's so sad. Zion trails off until her suggestions are quiet whispers. It must have been persuasive enough for Yellowstone, though, as she leaps to the rescue and lifts Zion back up.
You got a point. There was a storm brewing out there earlier. Let's just put that idea on ice for now and kick back here instead.
Nonsense. Zion loves picnics.
Yosemite, she doesn't want to go out. As certain as she sounds for insisting on what someone else likes, the moment she says it, look on her face is anything but. Her lips purse into a deep frown. She stares at Zion, and for all her pride and snobbery, Yosemite actually looks pathetic, like a scared child looking to an adult for comfort.
You do, don't you?
Zion stares up at her and they lock eyes. Any hesitation she had about picnics or rain melts away into a bright grin.
You're right. I love them.
Oh, this feels so awkward. Using her wings to propel her forward, Zion flutters into Yosemite's arms and the two of them tightly embrace. Yosemite closes her eyes and smiles, soaking in that moment of affection. Zion's eyes are wide open and far away. She's not smiling. I don't know about this. There's something off about this dynamic, but I'm not sure I'm able to grasp what it is. I look to Yellowstone, hoping for some silent elaboration, but she just clicks her tongue and starts walking towards the kitchen. Maybe she's right about it just being an intense case of mama bear syndrome. Who am I to say how park girls interact?
So what about the weather, genius? Or are you just craving soggy sandwiches?
Linear thinking. You're so good at it. We aren't limited to just eating within this park. There are other options. And I know just the place.
Zion looks up at her, most of her face buried in Yosemite's jacket.
You do?
Oh yes. In fact, it's your favorite place.
Oh no. With a stretch and a yawn, I prop myself off the couch.
Guess that means it's time for another field trip.
My thinking may be linear, but if those paintings on the walls have been anything to go by, it sounds like the four of us will be piling into Zion National Park. I can act like a grump all I want, but Zion National Park has been on my bucket list for a while. Maybe if I'm lucky, they'll take me to the Weeping Rock Trail. I really want to hike under the mountain's overhang. The best part of the hikes like that is when you get sprinkled by the waterfalls. It's so refreshing and you feel so rejuvenated after...
Excited?
I freeze, only now realizing I'm grinning. It's a normal human reaction, but Yosemite has a way of making it feel like losing.
A little.
It's embarrassing, but there are some parts of me I just can't deny, like how I had a banana phone until I left for college. I'm always going to be an earthy nature freak deep down. How are these tied? I don't think banana phones make you an earthy nature freak. Isn't that just like a cute gimmick phone?
I better get cooking then. It's still bright and early outside, but it's almost high noon in Utah. We don't want to end up sharing our picnic with the crickets.
Wait.
Yellowstone is in the middle of tying an apron around her.
I'll fix the food this time.
Oh no. I think she meant like a heavy brick phone. Is that... So it's not like a literal banana phone? Because I thought like a literal banana phone would be cool. Okay, the hamburger phone is also really cool. So is the Garfield phone. At first, Yellowstone beams because if there's one thing she loves more than helping, it's being offered help. But as sudden as lightning flashes through the sky, that morphs into a grimace.
Golly, I sure do appreciate the offer, Yosemite, but it's all fine and dandy. I can whip all this up lickety-split.
Yosemite releases Zion from her eternal hug and makes her way to the stove, snatching the apron right off Yellowstone's back.
It's not fine and it's not dandy. You wanted more help around here anyway, so here it is. Besides, I know Zion's favorite food.
Oh no, it's gonna be bad, isn't it? Just like that, Yosemite begins bringing groceries from the table to the counter. Yellowstone looks on in quiet horror, unable to stand up to the tyrant. Biting her thumb, she mumbles to herself.
Okie dokie, this is all fine. It's all gonna turn out swell. Just trust Yosemite.
She can't cook, can she? I bet she can't. I lean in and whisper to Yellowstone. The two of us are quickly becoming the keeper of all secrets within this cabin.
Be straight with me. Should I be scared of Yosemite's cooking?
Yes, you should be. We all should be.
She probably meant the Nokia 811096 mobile phone was nicknamed the banana phone. I wanted it to be a literal banana phone! Damn it! As we resign ourselves to whatever fate Yosemite cooks up, Zion walks past us and stops at the paintings. She stares up at hers, focusing on it as if she were looking for something deep into the valley painted on the canvas. And for a long time, she stays like that. Oh. After what feels like an eternity of listening to genres of elevated music I didn't even know existed, the line finally starts to ring. First once, then twice. On the third ring, some lady on the other end answers. My foot aches from all the impatient tapping.
Yeah, I'd like to check my balance. Checkings.
There's a long pause. When she speaks, it's a bunch of nonsense words that I don't care about.
No, I don't want the app.
More words.
I don't want the credit card either. Just tell me if there's been any suspicious charges.
She sighs. I sigh. What a pain in the ass. I give her my account number. My eyes start to glaze over as I wait for her to bring up the info. Over by the counter, Yellowstone squirms and gasps as Yosemite crams what I think are sandwiches into the picnic basket. She forces the lid shut, a murky rainbow of fruits and veggies spilling over the top. Zion is laying on my bed, staring at the ceiling. Pup is there too, curled up and resting his snout on her. I didn't give either of them permission to be on there, but you know what? I'll let her have it this once, just because I feel bad that Yosemite is going old dance recital mom on her. The lady on the phone speaks up and starts listing off all of my recent transactions. Magazine subscriptions, Sierra Club and ASPCA donations, some bad graffiti artist medical bills, the usual. But then, one unusual... Wait. What? Are those normal? But then, one unusual purchase. Nothing expensive, nothing grand, just an $8 charge to an online bookseller. I sneak another peek at Yosemite. She starts to hum to herself as she folds the... Wait, did that mean that she actually got those, or she waited for that? Wait. Okay, so these are normal? She paid for somebody's medical bills? Okay. I sneak another peek at Yosemite. She starts to hum to herself as she folds the picnic blanket into an uneven rectangle, smiling in such an uncharacteristic, joyful way that the skin on my back crawls. Oh! Right. I was like, what? I didn't realize. No, that makes sense. Thank you guys for being here. Otherwise, I'm like, that was nice of her. I literally was like, that was nice of her to do that. Is that like when you like go on Twitter and somebody's like having a bad time and you like help out? Yeah, it's a good callback. It's a good callback. Okay, got it.
All right, that's all I need to know. Thanks.
Before I can end the call, she stops me. What is it now? She asks the question, and if I could, I'd reach through the phone and swat her over the head.
Yes, I know what a smartphone is.
It's... She does have a BlackBerry! It's modern day, and she still has a BlackBerry. Do they still make those? They can't, right? Can you still buy them? Can you still buy a BlackBerry phone? Phones no longer officially exist and are physically inoperable. Oh my god. In 2022. In 2022. So they still worked when this came out. But barely. But barely. That's crazy. Oh my god. I hang up and toss my BlackBerry on the couch. Can't a person check in with their credit union without any hassles?
God!
At least I know one thing for certain now. Yosemite definitely used my card to buy that book. She probably used my phone to do it.
If you're so dead set on living an archaic existence, you may as well resort to the barter system. Really stick it to 'em.
You try operating in modern society. I bet you go nuts after forgetting your 5th password.
The fight drains from her eyes. She glances over at Zion, who is now sitting on the edge of her bed, waiting to go.
You're probably right.
It's because of weird moments like that I'm not going to cheer her out about it. Yet. There's something going on here. The unsure glances and sad smiles make it as obvious as a slap to the face. So I'm going to observe for a bit. Wait and see how this plays out. Yellowstone told me she had wandered around 30 years before meeting up with the other two. These girls have decades of baggage. Just like the rest of us, really. Slap! All it takes is one single clap from Yosemite for both Yellowstone and Zion to rise in attention. Even Pup does it. They're better trained than most of my coworkers.
It took slightly longer than expected.
I sorta expected it.
She gives the evil eye to Yellowstone, and it shuts her up pretty quick.
But it looks like we're finally ready to go.
How bad is the food gonna be?
Hooray!
Zion's face! Zion is the only one to even try and match Yosemite's enthusiasm. Her heart doesn't seem in it, though. She taps the air with a light fist bump.
Yellowstone, can you make sure everything is accounted for?
Yellowstone tears herself away from cringing at the picnic basket, which is looking more and more like a waste silo as the food drips over the edges. She forces a smile, her greatest talent.
Aye, aye. Blanket and weights in case it gets windy.
She points to her back and shakes her backpack. I can hear the weights rattling around and around in it.
Check. Adorable Earth Angel who's gonna have a swell time.
Doubt rings it. The leaning! She just leaned out from behind the... Doubt rings in her voice. She throws Zion a thumbs up. Zion nods and gives a thumbs up back. Yellowstone doesn't look convinced, though.
Check. Evo.
I'm actually kind of excited.
I look down and try to hide the creepy-looking grin I know I get when I'm happy. But Yellowstone still notices anyway and smiles like she just saw something disgustingly precious. She giggles.
Check.
Just let me be a National Park nerd in peace, please. I beg of you.
Yosemite and her, basket of grub.
Why are you so afraid of calling my cooking food?
Check.
She doesn't just skate along to avoid the subject. She skates a full 180 degrees to avoid looking at Yosemite.
Is Puppers tagging along?
Pup, hearing his name in a mangled capacity, leaps off my bed and bounds over. He spins in circles, rubbing against my leg after every few spins, like his brain can't quite keep up with his body.
Nah, he's staying here. Just gonna keep him outside while we're gone.
Now without her cuddle buddy, Zion floats off the bed and lands near the rest of us.
I saw him by the campground earlier. Isn't that a little concerning? He's getting awfully used to people.
Oh no. That's a bad thing.
I know, right? Pretty boy thinks he's human. Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
Oh no. There's a long, uncomfortable silence where my baby talk seems to echo across the cabin. It's only broken up by Pup growling as he tries gnawing on my shoe. Please tell me, I don't know how to say that. I'm sorry. Forrest is a girl I can date. I don't think so. There is one extra girl, but she is a Yunke? Like that? Yunke? Sorry, I'm Australian. I'm following. It's a rainforest, Puerto Rico. No, they're only the U.S. national parks, it seems. It's all good. Yay! But hi, Bodega! There is one more in episode 5, but we're on episode 3, so it's gonna take us a second to get there. Also, guys, you better be following Bodega. You better be following Bodega. I watched Bodega play Still Wakes the Deep, and I was so happy. I was so happy you liked it. I was so happy. I was like, oh my god, yay!
See, no hunting instincts at all. It's fine.
Zion sighs, then digs deep into her hair and snaps off a branch. Wouldn't that hurt?
Stick?
Is that part of her? Pup's head tilts to the side. Zion flies over to the door, whirling the stick through the air like a magic wand. She opens the door and Pup scrambles over.
Want the stick, boy? Want the stick? Go get it!
With a pained grunt, she tosses it outside. It doesn't go very far, but it's enough for Pup to chase after it, and more importantly, for Zion to close the door before he can come back. He starts to scratch and whine at the door. It's hard to resist the temptation to go and let him back in. Fortunately, Yosemite doesn't give me much time to dwell on my broken heart.
So now that the little fluff ball is out of the way, is everybody all set?
I feel like this is going to be so awkward. I feel like this is going to be such a terrible picnic.
Wonderful. Care to do the honors, Zion?
Of course! Where am I taking us to?
Come on. You know the place.
Oh, Yosemite, stop.
No,
you're making you're making the Babu uncomfortable.
Your favorite place?
It would be hard to have a picnic at Angel's Landing. It's quite chilly up there.
Yosemite frowns, then beckons her forward with a finger. She leans in and whispers something in Zion's ear. Her small nose wrinkles in confusion as Yosemite backs away.
Yes? I can take us there, if that's what you want.
No! Yosemite doesn't so much as sigh, she does deflate. Not the answer she wanted, I'm guessing.
Okay, everyone. Please hold hands. Miss Eve, I know this is your first time doing it with a group, but don't worry. It's simple.
Sure is. All you gotta do is touch the old bread makers here with the buddies.
Before I can jerk it away, she grabs my wrist. With her kung fu grip, she forces my hand to Yosemite's. When Yosemite resists, Yellowstone just does the same thing to her.
There. Golly, you two don't have nothing but salt and pepper in ya, huh?
That's such a cute sentence, what the fuck. Our fingers interlock. For a moment, our palms touch, the skin pressing together. Oh, the blushies! Blushies are happening! We both loosen our grip immediately and look away from each other. Far, far, far away, where neither of us have to see each other's stupid faces. Hers definitely being the stupidest. Stupid, braggart, idiot. Ren,
What
thank you
on
for the follow,
earth
welcome.
did you do to make your hands so callous? You could light a match on it.
I wish I could throw it right back at her, but her hand is so smooth I could hardly even feel lines on her palm.
Yours feels like peeled tree bark.
Is that your only insult?
It is. And I hope you get termites.
Yellowstone grabs my free hand and squeezes it. My fingers feel like twigs, bending and cracking in the grasp of Yellowstone's strength. My body flexes as I deal with the crushing pain. In my resistance, I squeeze Yosemite's hand. There's a single snap. She lets out a yelp that sounds just like Pop.
Girls?
Puffs of black smoke whistle at the top of her volcano like a steam engine.
Unless the both of ya are cruising for a bruising, let's not turn this into a slobber knocker.
That's a disgusting word. I want to hear it again. She says it all through gritted teeth. A dark smile forces itself across her lips and digs into her cheeks, corrupting her usually jolly dimples. A red glow peels from her volcano, and I decide then and there it's probably for the best to try and avoid any future eruptions.
Capiche?
Capiche! Yosemite hurriedly nods. I follow suit.
Yay! Take us away, cutie!
Zion nods and extends her hand to Yosemite. She accepts it and tenderly strokes it with her thumb.
Don't let go, Miss Eve. That would be very bad.
Very bad.
Uh-huh. Why am I only being told this now?
Wind rushes up from beneath me, lifting me up into nowhere. All that surrounds me is electricity, like I'm a grain of static in every television sign off screen to ever flicker on a screen, and that I've been living this way forever. I'm not breathing. I'm not existing. I'm only moving, and I move into darkness. Where I stare too long, vague shapes of constellations and heavenly bodies show themselves. I feel my hands begin to slip out of Yellowstone's and Yosemite's. Before I can let go, my knees hit the ground.
Ugh.
Able to breathe again, I begin shoveling in as much air as I possibly can into my lungs. This wasn't nearly as intense as the other times.
Thank you for flying Air Zion. I apologize for the turbulence.
Wait.
Is this?
I rub my hands across the ground. Moist soil and dirt cool my skin. Grabbing a clump of thin, wild grass, I let it slide through my fingers. It's yellowish green and thin as wheat.
Zion National Park?
I jump to my feet, trip, then jump back up again. Splatterings of tall trees extend into the distance in all directions. In the clearing where we're at, the land is nearly bare of them. But further you go, the closer they get to each other, and the more of them there are, until these sparse, almost naked trees combine their presence and merge into a forest. There's an elegance to them, the restrained spacing of their pine needles, allowing them to show off more of their toned and sleeked wood. In the mighty redwood cousins back in Yosemite are knights, then these are fences. If they're mighty. I'm so sorry, I'm fucking up reading so bad today. They all accumulate at the base of the mountain, as if it were a place of gathering and worship. The mountain looks alien compared to the natural green of the trees. Its face is a gray mass, but jagged stripes of pink and gray minerals outline it, the unmistakable trademark of Navajo sandstone. patternless nooks and overhangs look like they've been carved into the mountainside by an artist with no vision, something so chaotic and random it would only exist in nature. Yet, it anchors this entire forest, presiding over it like a custodian.
Feast your eyes, Ranger. You're looking at the North Guardian Angel.
Guys, we're in Honest Hearts Land! Let's go! I'm making sure to drink lots of water. I don't want to fuck up my voice reading these.
There's more popular places in the co-op terrace.
Zion must feel Yosemite's eyes watching her because she immediately course corrects.
But the Northgate peaks are always so beautiful. Something as simple as sitting between a mountain can really humble you.
You're telling me! Just looking at it makes me feel like a teeny tiny ant floating through oblivion.
Huh. You get that too?
Like clockwork. I just try to push the bad thoughts away.
That sounds like a
You
terrible
know,
place
the
to have a
universe
picnic.
is going to collapse on itself one day.
Thanks, Eve.
Blah, 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 not thinking!
This isn't Zion's favorite, so Yosemite. Yeah, clearly. Clearly. Yellowstone plugs her ears and stomps her feet to drown me out. Yosemite has wandered off, inspecting the ground for a flat spot, clear of any rocks.
Eve, stop inducing an existential crisis in Yellowstone. Yellowstone, could you help me with setting up the food, please?
It's Ari. Hello. How are you? Bup, 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 bup. Bup. Hi. How was first snore? Welcome. Thank you so much for the raid. It's lovely to have you. Hello, I'm Vivi of Vividly Vivi, radioactive Australian VTuber, and here we do whatever the fuck I want. Ba-bang. We're playing National Park Girls today, which is more like reading. We're reading National Park Girls. But visual novels do count as games. At least in my mind. But hello, I hope you had a really lovely stream. How is First Snow? What is First Snow? I'm looking. Prequel spin-off of the visual novel Twofold. Oh, it looks cute! Oh, it's also by Studio Elon. Cute. Aww. You still need to play? I recommend it. It's good. We're having a good time. I do recommend it. They will be delisting the episodes. I don't know when, but at some point in the future. And then they're going to release a We Love Our Parks edition, which is all 5 episodes in one. So it's up to you whether you want to get in on the ground floor now and read them before that, before they're delisted, or if you want to wait until the bind up. I'd recommend now. They're pretty good. But yeah, thank you so much. But yeah, if you need to rest, because visual novel streams can really take it out of you, please feel free. Make sure that you drink lots of water. But yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Anyway, we're now going to have the most awkward picnic in existence.
Okie dokie, Smokey.
Yellowstone, okay. I'm like, I know, please no, I do like the visual novel. I'm enjoying it very much. But I am one of those really annoying people that when there is a typo, and I mean this, like, if you were to write me, like, okay, now I have to point this out. I have literally had love letters written to me in my life, and I have pointed out spelling errors. I'm sorry, I am that bitch. It doesn't mean that I don't love it, it's just, I have the compulsive need to go, that's a spelling error. I have a compulsive need to go, spelling error, typo. So typo. Okay. Yellowstone prances over to Yosemite, humming a little tune to herself. For someone who was brushing up against a nervous breakdown, she sure did recover easily.
But you gotta let me choose the picnic spot. Not just any old ground will do. It's an art.
And I assume you're the artisan?
Yes, indeedy. And you can just call me DiCaprio.
She proudly crosses her arms, basking in her status as a skilled homemaker. Meanwhile, Yosemite is basking in the stupidity of what Yellowstone just said.
Do you mean Da Vinci?
The two of them go off, arguing the dichotomy of Leonardo's as they search for the perfect place to picnic. While they're busy doing that, now would be the perfect time to really take in the sights. I take out the camera I stashed away in my flannel pocket. It's a digital one I bought almost 10 years ago and I still barely know how to work it. But once I get turned on and triple check it's not set to record, I start snapping away. It's not every day I get to visit Utah. In fact, the only time I've ever visited has been when I drove through it when going to Georgia for my federal training in Glencoe. Hi, Stripes! Hi! But I've always loved just how red all the mountains are. Not so much here, but you wouldn't have to go very far to find entire mountain ranges that glow as if an entire sunset is being projected upon them. There's no other state that looks quite like it. The people are nice too. Yay, Joshua Graham! I zoom in close on one of the more interesting spots on the North Guardian Angel, an overhang on the far left. It's curved in such a way that the shadow cast makes it under it makes it look like the entrance to a shallow cave. The wall of the mountain fades into a dull pink at the end of it.
Are you actually happy to be here, Miss Eve?
The grass rustles. I look away from the camera. Zion creeps to my side, twiddling her thumbs and keeping her eyes locked to the ground, as if the simple task of talking to me was a potential risk.
Surprised I'm capable of feeling joy?
No, Catullus, no, it was not. Also, Piperino, my boss was a serial misspeller. I had a boss like that too, but luckily we didn't have to do a whole lot of writing. Panic sets in as she scrambles to clarify.
Oh no, not at all.
Hesitance sets in when she realizes she can't.
Well, not entirely.
As polite as ever, I see. Even when the truth is inconvenient.
Don't need to sugarcoat it, kid. I know what I am.
You do?
I do not have a park sonar, no. I don't think I have an Australian national park that I feel that close to, you know? Whatever she's thinking, I've been called it. Cynical, stick in the mud, hard ass, or as Yellowstone might put it.
Sure. A grump.
Zion jolts up, so far that she floats back to the ground, swinging her head back and forth.
That's a fib. Never ever have I thought you were grumpy, Miss Eve. Just sad.
Gravity must have gotten a little heavier because my arms fall limp at my side along with the camera. Zion is such an anomaly, even when compared to volcano heads and waterfall hair. She's intuitive in ways that most adults are too self-absorbed to be, and she does it with the gentle honesty of a child. As far as I know, she could be both, or either. Who knows how years and age even works for these girls. Despite that, it's hard to feel like she's effectively anything other than a kid. Hello, Mushy Cat. Hello. Let me get you a shout out. Hi, how was your stream? Aerial spores descend. Did you have a good League stream? I have no idea how League works, but I hope you had a lovely time. Welcome, welcome. Hi, welcome Raiders. I'm Vivi, of Vividly Vivi, radioactive Australian VTuber, and here we do whatever the fuck I want. Ba-bang. We're playing a visual novel today. No, lol. It didn't go well. It didn't go well. I don't think it's possible to have a good time in League. Well, at least you're honest. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for the raid. Welcome. Thank you for the follows, by the way. It's lovely to meet you. It's lovely to have you. We're playing a visual novel. We're playing National Parks Girls, which is a visual novel by Studio Elan, which has been out since 2019. And it is about national parks which have somehow become physical anime girls. And they want to know why. That's the plot. You're welcome. If you need more info than that, go !explain. This is not sponsored. I just made that just in case people had questions. My lawyers advised me to remain silent, considering the things I've said. Sounds smart. I believe that. Yes, U.S. national parks. But yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Never ask a man their salary, a woman their age, and never ask a League of Legends player how long they've waited in queue. Oh dear. Maybe you can apply to be an ambassador. I did apply. I've already put in an application. I have put in an application. We will see. Obviously, that's up to them. I don't know. I don't know if they'd want me or not. Like, I am going to have to be amending my review because originally I wrote a review in 2019, but I feel like I kind of sped through it and I didn't appreciate it too much. So I'm looking forward to going through it again. Wait for Gen 2. Oh, it comes out in like actual like generations? It's not just like a regular thing? Okay. Wow. Interesting. I didn't know that it worked like that. But yes, thank you so much. Thank you. Aw, hi Cat. I hope you enjoy the VOD. But yes, it'll be in waves. Ah, I see. Okay, good to know. Good to know. But yes, Mushi, if you need to go rest after feel free. Thank you so much for the raid. It was so lovely for you to come swing by afterwards. I appreciate that. But yeah, I'm wishing you all the best with with League, which is a terrible experience for what I've heard, but as long as it brings you joy or some semblance of that. Thank you for coming by. I appreciate it. Thank you. But yes, mentally recover, absolutely. Have you started streaming earlier in the day? I stream earlier in the day if I want to. So with visual novels, I typically like to stream them during my midday. I can stream later if I feel like it, but my usual stream time is usually at the earliest like 6 hours from now, maybe 7. But I like streaming randomly around the day because you catch different people at different times, you know? So you never know what's gonna work for people. So, yeah. Alrighty.
How can I be sad when you're so pretty? This park has sights I couldn't dream of seeing in NorCal.
I'm gonna guess that means Northern California. Is that what NorCal means? Do we shorten things now? Oh yeah, I don't play League or anything like that. I don't do gacha. I have a gambling addiction. Or I had one, I suppose. So I stay away from them. Have you ever been to any US national parks before? No, I've never left Australia. Never. It's not something I'm particularly good at doing consciously, but I try to give her a smile, using my mom as a base of reference. Someone who managed to ascend to sainthood despite raising 5 rowdy kids. Or because of it. Zion can't hide her blush, as pink as the gradient of the mountain. Her usual uncertain courtesy is briefly taken over by a huffy pout.
You really mustn't say things like that, Miss Eve. It's embarrassing for all parties.
Is it bad that I'm in debt? I would say that it's unfortunate, but I wish you all the best, honestly. It's really hard. Like, not to get too serious about things, but like, I kind of got off lucky because I fell into loot boxes. And it wasn't until I spent, I think, a paycheck and a third in one go that I was like, oh, I need to stop. I went, oh, this is actually fucking me up. This is bad. So I did manage to get a refund, so I did luck out that time. But after that, I banned myself from anything with loot boxes. Anything with loot boxes or gacha, I do not touch because I have that brain chemical thing, you know? My family is susceptible to it. I remember my dad said to me, the worst thing that can ever happen if you are gambling is winning the first time. He went, if you gamble and the first time you win, you're more likely to fall into it. So yeah, my family has a predisposition to those kinds of things, so my heart goes out to people who have it, because I know that, like, God, how long did I play Overwatch for? I dropped a lot of money on Overwatch. It was like hundreds of bucks. Maybe over 1,000. I didn't make a lot of money back then, so it was a lot of money for me. But yeah, I'm not gonna anymore. I stay away from it. But yeah, I honestly, I wish you all the best if you are in debt because of gambling. My heart's going out to you, buddy. I hope things get better. I do. But yeah, I've never really thought about it much before, but she really does sound like a mini Yosemite sometimes. Except Zion's big words have the benefit of not being spoken by a big mouth. Let's hope old Leafy's personality doesn't wear off on her too.
But just so you know,
She lowers her voice to a grave whisper, cupping one side of her mouth to tell me a secret. She waits for me to crouch down. I don't.
it's very possible for someone to feel sad, but to try and hide it by pretending to feel another way.
I wonder what she's talking about.
Uh-huh. And do you think that's what I'm doing?
She shakes her head again, twice as hard and with twice as many shakes.
Not anymore. Not at all.
Zion, stop calling me out. I never got into gacha because I was so young when they became popular. I didn't have much cash yet. It's good when some people can sidestep it. Thanks for letting us know, Sayori. This is the same artist as Doki Doki Literature Club.
You seem to smile so much more these
Satchely.
days. And you don't sigh as much before going to work now. That one is the most notable. Sighing is the biggest sign of sadness there is. You're still scary, but you've absolutely changed. Now you're nice scary.
Pressing her hands together, she gives a smile, but the way she closes her eyes while doing it makes me think she's just scared to see my reaction. As she should be, because that's hogwash. What's with these campers? What's with Zion? Or Jessie, for that matter? What am I doing now that's any different than before? There's no change in just doing your job or the stupidest, simplest thing like smiling. That's called being a normal-ass human, and last I checked, it didn't imply something as drastic as going soft or letting go of things that made you hard to begin with.
Trust me, kid, I'm just as scary today as I was yesterday. No one stops being miserable overnight. Throw me a bad day and see how nice I am then.
Well, I suppose that's true. But you've been with us for more than a single day, or night for that matter. Change is as gradual as the passing of dusk to dawn, after all.
I hated that movie.
You still notice the crack of dawn, though. Can't say it looks much brighter than the witching hour right now.
I should probably watch it again as an adult. It scared me too much as a kid. I know that it's meant to be funny, but it scared me. Zion contemplates this, rubbing her chin like a junior detective.
In that case, you're probably still sleeping.
1 second. I'm talking about From Dusk Till Dawn, which is Tarantino. He wrote it. Yeah, it scared me a lot as a kid. I think it's meant to be funny, but it scared me. Like, I was young, okay? I was young, and vampires are scary when you're a kid.
Some people sleep in for an awfully long time.
She glances over at Yosemite. Her and Yellowstone are arguing over whether Splinter was one of the Renaissance greats or not. I don't know how it got to this point. I don't know how my life got here either.
Zion.
Why is he called
Are
Splinter?
you feeling sad and pretending?
If there's something going on between her and Zion, whatever wordless little struggle it may be, I'm bound to get sucked into it at some point. This is what happens when an entire social ecosystem is crammed into a cabin. Zion's shoulders tense up, then slump down. It's hard to read her expression based off her profile, but when she turns to face me, her tiny hands are clumped up into fists and certainty steals her gaze.
We do what we can for as long as we can, Miss Eve.
Oh no. There's a sharp whistle from behind us. We look back, and both of Yellowstone's pinkies are in the corners of her mouth. Talk about skill. On the other end of the spectrum, Yosemite also has both of her pinkies in her mouth and is blowing all the air stored up into her lungs onto them. When she notices us watching, she pretends she was coughing into her hand. On the ground beside them, an entire picnic spread has been set up. I can't do the big whistle.
Stew's down, you two. Come and get it.
Yeah, I just kind of blow air. I can't do it when you have to, like, use your fingers. I just go... I don't have to use my hand to whistle. Stew's down, you two. There we go. Yellowstone scrunches her nose.
Say, Yosemite? Don't you mean soup's up?
Come and get it!
Cute. With a small sigh, Zion leaves me behind and starts to walk over to the others. At this distance, I wonder why she doesn't just use her wings.
However long we can take it. Coming, Yosemite!
Yosemite greets Zion with a smile and a small hug, having been separated by the long, untraversable distance of 100 feet. Then she looks over to me and her eyes go flat like a dead fish. She points at the invisible watch on her wrist. Amazing. Even in moments of obvious internal crisis, she still manages to be insufferable. We lock eyes. I put on a smirk as smarmy as the one she usually wears, then make my way over. Real slow-like.
Gotta say, girls, this place is gorgeous. Maybe even prettier than the park we came from.
I don't mean it, of course. Not with all the memories I have there. But if you'll get under the skin of Yosemite the Prude, then I'll temporarily diss Yosemite the Park.
It's cute how you believe your pettiness will fuel my ire, when all it does is serve to further your own rot. Perish, Gremlin.
Gremlin?
Don't use those $20 words of yours to be a Grinch, Yosemite. Dollface was just smelling the roses.
Yellowstone, unaware of the psychological warfare occurring in front of her, sticks up for me. This is it. I win. Yosemite can't fight back against such oblivious kindness.
And they smell great.
I let the sentence slide out in a whisper, so backhanded I can almost see it slap Yosemite's face. She clicks her tongue and waves me off. For once, a total victory. Finally. Yellowstone might not notice it, but Zion sure does. Throughout all of this, her eyes have been swooping back and forth between me and Yosemite. She uses the lull in the conversation to shift gears.
This spread looks like something out of a picture.
Kiss already!
Did you set it up, Yellowstone?
That's your tush I did. It was just about the only thing Yosemite would let me do.
Oh, she's got like leaves all over her. And are those pine cones? Aesthetically, the picnic spread really is perfect. Yellowstone's knack for detail shines, with every paper plate and dish arranged around the picnic basket as if it were a coffee table centerpiece. On all four corners, smooth stones weigh down the blanket to keep it from crinkling up. All that's missing is potato salad and fireworks. Even the spot she picked feels like it was expertly chosen to create the most all-American picnic experience possible, right underneath an elder tree with drooping branches and leaves for shade. I know which spot I'm taking.
Hey, Zion. How does the food look? I made all of it, even the globe mallow gruel that you like. Doesn't it make you salivate? Doesn't it bring back memories?
Gruel? Yeah, memories of puking on the blacktop as a kid. In all fairness, it would end up being good, but things aren't looking too hot right now. Some of these dishes look recognizable, but they're all the wrong color. That grits oatmeal porridge thing she made? Yeah, that's orange. It shouldn't be orange. A fruit salad with pine needles as bedding? That's my only guess for the plate next to it. Were these even the fruit Jessie brought over with the groceries? Was any of this? She did the weird disappearing thing while making the food. Did she just go out and pick whatever she could find? Zion observes the assumedly edible substances in front of her and nods.
This looks like you tried really hard, Yosemite.
Don't make her eat that!
Good job!
No! Ouch. Must be fire season because Yosemite just got burned. But it doesn't seem to bother her. In fact, she's smiling, like her macaroni portrait just got hung on the fridge. Good job, Yosemite. It's not Da Vinci or DiCaprio, but you get 2 gold stars. She's either deranged or resilient.
I'm glad. I was thinking of you the entire time.
She's deranged.
Come on, let me fix you a plate.
She gonna try and make her eat a pine cone? Yosemite sits down on the blanket and starts to pile a little bit of everything onto a flimsy paper plate.
I'll do yours next, Yellowstone. Eve, you can do it yourself.
Whatever. I don't want it poisoning me anyway. Plopping down the blanket, I slump against the tree. Call me overly cautious, but I'm gonna observe the reactions to this food before I even consider putting it in my body. Enjoy the random berries that may or may not be poison. That just reminds me that Edith went out and just ate a random berry and it didn't even taste good. Some people are way more adventurous than I will ever be. Yosemite sets Zion's plate in front of her. It's a mountain of food, almost as big as the actual mountain behind us. All mished and mashed together, it's taken on the color and texture of grounded rainbow trout. A bastardization of the food pyramid if ever I've seen one.
This is a lot.
Of course it is. I know you say you're a picky eater, but the Zion I know would be happy with whatever she got. She would be grateful for simply having food.
The unhappy cherub gives a defiant groan and pokes at Food Mountain with her finger. It jiggles.
Don't give me that. I expect you to finish everything on that plate. You don't expect me to let you starve now, do you?
You're feeding her pine cones! Before I'm even done leaning over, Yellowstone is waiting for me to whisper in her ear.
Is starving to death even an option for you three?
We get cravings, but it ain't like we'll croak from hunger. Before these two, I could go weeks without eating.
That's what I thought. What kind of fairy tale creature keels over from something as mundane as a lack of food? Yosemite has always been stuck on hyperbole, but now she's just playing house.
You're right, Yosemite.
So if they can teleport themselves, then they can teleport the food away, right? Can you imagine? Gripping her fork, Zion plunges it into the gelatinous mass. I have to swallow back the vomit a little when she slips it into her mouth.
Yum.
No!
It's so... crunchy.
It cracks like thin bones between her teeth.
Those
Save
are
the
the pine
baby!
needles. They're quite nutritious.
Why did you put pine needles in gelatin? She bobs her head up and down, squirreling away the food in her cheek.
Really? It's the spot.
Does that
Zion!
mean you like it?
Zion swallows. The gulp sounds like an anvil settling in her stomach. And somehow, through all the different shades of discomfort flickering through her eyes, she smiles. Not just a smirk either, a bright, sunny beam.
I love it. Almost as much as I love you, Yosemite.
She hates her. Ow.
Oh, brother.
Where art thou?
I have gummy bears on my desk. I need to eat something yummy, like, right now. I'm eating a gummy bear. I'm sorry, I just had to remind myself that good food exists because that made me sad. This made me sad to read. What do you mean you haven't had a gummy bear in years? How do you go a year without eating a gummy bear? No. I don't think these are sugar-free. These are Haribo Gold Bears, maxi size. So it's like a really big pack of them. They have sugar. They're not sugar-free. I don't buy the sugar-free ones. I don't buy sugar-free stuff. Nah. This is an interesting hole to fall into for anime women as extra. I really love it, Adora. I really love the, I think they used to call it, like, Gijinka. You know, when they turn, like, Pokemon into, like, anime girls? I love it. I think that it's really funny. It's really cute. Anyway, me and Yellowstone can only sigh as the performance before us amps up the theatrics. Yosemite buys into it, though. Hell, she might even purchase the playbill during intermission. She swoons over Zion, like her mere presence is enough to make her melt into a soup of unicorns and hearts.
Such a sweetheart.
There's a crack in her voice, and the facade. Her breath shakes. She smacks her chapped lips as they quiver.
I'm so lucky to have you.
Aww. I just wish we had I love shapes! I have pizza shapes in the cupboard right now. And chicken crimpy flavored shapes. They're very nice. But yes, me eating a pine cone as a snack right now. What are you implying? Alan Zollies have announced a sweet and sour. Oh my god, okay. That actually sounds really good. Actually, no, we do need to take one really quick moment, guys. I have to, wait, where are the settings? I need to turn down the music for this. I have horrifying news. They're changing the recipe for Tim Tams. We don't know if they're good. I haven't been able to try them yet. Uh-huh. Apparently, if you want to try the original flavor, you need to find a pack that expires December of this year, because if they expire next year, it's the new formula, and we don't know if it's good or not. I haven't tried it yet. It could be good. I could be fear-mongering right now. It could be good, but when has it ever been good? The flavor was already great. The recipe was already great. Why are they changing it? Anyway. Max, thank you for following. Welcome to the bunker. Welcome. On-stream reaction sometime? I'd be so sad. What if it's bad? I'll just cry. Like that time where I found out Lyft was discontinued and I now have 2 crates of Lyft. I have 2 crates of Lyft in my spare room because I refuse to let go. That sounds like gaslighting. I have been told about this. It is an Australian thing that we've all been talking about. I was crying about it with Weishi yesterday. I've been crying about it with Weishi yesterday. It is not gaslighting. Unless you're gaslighting me now to try and cheer me up. We do what we can for as long as we can. Zion's words seem more relevant than ever as she places a comforting hand on Yosemite's thigh.
No. I'm so lucky to have you. I'm sorry for being so difficult.
Zion, no! I'm not sure how much good it did, but Yosemite gets halfway to a smile.
You have nothing to apologize for, little one.
She boops Zion on the nose. Her eyes go wide like a flashlight was just shined in her face.
If this doesn't work, I'll be the one that needs to apologize to you. Speaking of apologies.
Yosemite picks up another plate, starts loading it up with more food. Her bangs dangle over her eyes and hide most of it, but a slight blush streaks across her face as she's forced to admit that even she isn't without her faults.
Sorry for taking so long, Yellowstone. You must be getting antsy.
Oh, no, really, it's no biggie. You don't gotta... Okay, you're already doing it.
You're already doing it.
Everything is fine.
Dread colors Yellowstone from the top of her volcano to the tip of her chin. A fresh, wobbling plate of slop is tossed in front of her. With nothing more than a passing glance, Yosemite vaguely acknowledges me.
I meant what I said. Starve.
You're doing me a mercy.
She sticks her nose in the air and returns to attending Zion. I love the VA in this. I love it. Ever the optimist, Yellowstone scoops up a chunk of the Yosemite surprise and gulps. She's trembling.
Rub-a-dub-dub, at least it ain't mud.
High praise. A gust of wind blows past us as she stares down the fork. Somewhere in the world, a tumbleweed drifts across the desert. Yellowstone is quick to the draw, though, and bites down before it can get her first. I don't doubt that it would have... Chew. Swallow. Gag. The fork falls onto the blanket. Yellowstone limply sits on her knees, staring off into a safe place far from here. In her eyes, there are reflections of every disaster and atrocity to ever scar the earth. The Black Death, Hindenburg, JFK in Dallas. I see it all.
That bad?
About what I figured.
She doesn't look at me.
So, what's the problem?
Dunno. I guess some things just really take the Simon out of your Garfunkel, you know?
The distance between me and her may as well be from the sun to the moon. I do what I can and give her one solid pat on the shoulder. You gave Yosemite the benefit of the doubt, kid. There's nothing else you could have done.
Well, let's just stuff that trauma away for another day.
Wow, that really is how she copes.
Now it's time to hatch Plan Y.
Plan Y? What happened to the other 24 plans?
They don't exist. The Y stands for Yellowstone.
She takes a quick glance at Yosemite, who is currently wiping crumbs off of Zion's face. With the coast clear, she does a small fist pump and starts digging around in her volcano. I feel nothing as I watch her arm go elbow deep inside her own head. Only emptiness gnaws at the pit of my chest as her tongue wiggles out the corner of her mouth as she's struggling to find gum in her purse.
Aha! Bingo!
She can elbow deep. She can go elbow deep into her head. So is there nothing in there? Like a magician whipping a rabbit out of their hat, she lifts out 2 Ziploc baggies with sandwiches inside them. Hi, Jazzy! Hello. All right, those emotions I wasn't feeling earlier, I'm feeling all of them now, viscerally. She doesn't expect me to eat that, right?
Not to be a stick in the mud, but I kind of saw this coming. So I
do
did a little
remember
prep work
snow,
in
but
advance.
like there's something
Hope you
about
like
it
tuna
being a
salad.
forearm that makes it more visceral. Oh god, she actually does. She tosses me one of the baggies. The heat melts to my skin as soon as I catch it. I play hot potato with it, passing it between my hands till it's cool enough to actually handle. Why do these girls keep throwing more bizarre concepts at me for me to accept? This time, literally. Wait, is it always warm inside Yellowstone's head? Thought her volcano only acted up when she got angry, but the bag felt like it was nuked in the microwave. I look up from the baggie at her, trying to get a good read on her mood. She's just staring at me expectantly, waiting for me to shove this head sandwich down my gullet. I've spent enough time with Yellowstone to know that she bottles things up, though to the point where she explodes when letting out her feelings. Maybe this Yosemite and Zion business just has her irritated. When it comes to all 3 of them, I'm always doing guesswork.
You're gonna be so jazzed about this sandwich, Evie.
Jazzed.
I spread lots of brown butter on it.
Are you trying to clog my arteries before I'm 30?
There's always Yosemite scrub.
She says it with a grin on her face, but she may as well be telling me that death is the only viable option. Yosemite sneaks a peek at us after hearing Yellowstone's comment, but turns her nose up as soon as I notice. Looks like someone's salty about the fact that the people witnessing her holding a small child emotionally hostage don't want to eat her trash.
Well, bottoms up, I guess.
I open the bag and take out the sandwich. Melted cheese and tuna ooze over the crust. The bread is flaky and firm, and it all looks delicious, and I hate myself for eating like this every day, but I'm hooked at this point. Chemically addicted. That's me with the bulldog noodles. When I bite into it, the juices from the tuna flow into my mouth. For a brief moment, I decide life is worth living.
What the hell? It's evenly cooked, too. You're just toying with my taste buds now.
Ah, that's a side effect of the old noggin.
Hi,
To
Tome.
be honest, I wanted it to be fluffy and light. The ultimate picnic food.
She slides in closer to me, her downcast gaze fading into a knowing smile as she signals her victory.
But as long as you dig it, I guess I can let it slide.
Thank you, Yellowstone National Park, bringing a whole new meaning to the term brain food.
Is there anything else that head of yours can do?
Oh yeah, a whole bunch of neato stuff. It's even a handy dandy.
Is her hair a volcano? Yeah! She is Yellowstone National Park. Welcome to National Park, girls. She grabs the plate of Yosemite Delight in front of her and tosses it in her head. Yes, including the paper plate.
And salt.
You have split ends.
Lava surges from her head. The sound of an explosion drops like a bomb. The heat warms my face as if I were mere inches away from a blazing fire. Yosemite and Zion turn their heads, the harsh orange light coloring their faces. When the lava geyser plummets back into her head, they go back to what they were doing, unfazed.
Garbage disposal! Ta-da!
Horrifying.
And oh so convenient.
Well, she's got me there. Yellowstone pulls open the bag, but only takes the sandwich halfway out, instead using the bag as a crumb catcher like a burrito. After taking a few bites of it, a simple smile spreads across her face. Her posture relaxes and she melts further into the blanket. I guess decent food can change anyone's mood for the better, even someone as cheery as Yellowstone. She still glances over at Yosemite and Zion from time to time, observing the suffocating maternity of it all. But even that's a little more subdued now. Yosemite rests her chin on her clasped hands, watching Zion poke and choke down her food. The kid has gotten so used to it by now, she almost makes it look natural. And for a while, we all just sit there and munch away at our food. A soft breeze whispers through the valley, rattling the leaves above me. I look up and stare at the clouds through the dancing branches and watch them drift away into the sky's faded blue forever. With a deep breath, I draw in as much of the fresh air as I can and let it fill my lungs. Feels like a cleanse. And I close my eyes and just soak it in. Yay, it's diary writing time. Yellowstone is very creative with her abilities. Yeah, I feel that too. The other ones can just, what, make water and fly. Hey Teddy, it's me again, your favorite prisoner. Right now I'm in Zion National Park, courtesy of the obvious. Yosemite and Yellowstone are here too. We're having a picnic right now. I wish I could write good things about the food, but unfortunately, Yosemite decided she's due for a crisis and made it all herself instead of letting Yellowstone do it. Hakase, hello! Hi, how are you? Let me get you a shout out. Hello, what were you up to? Workers and Resources, Soviet Republic. What sort of game is that? Hello. We are playing National Park Girls, which is a visual novel where the anime girls are actually national parks. Like, the national parks have become anime girls and they don't know why. It's an incredibly convoluted city builder. Love it! I don't recommend it unless you like headaches. I don't think, it's been a long time since I've played a city builder, and the last time I played a city builder I think was pretty, like, straightforward. We're talking like Sim City or something. Or does that just count as a simulation? Does that even count as a city builder? I'm like trying to remember now. I haven't played anything like that since I was a kiddo. But yeah, they were fun though. More of a simulation? I thought so. I don't think I've ever actually played a city, like a city builder. I don't think I've ever actually sat down and done one. Damn. But Hakase, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the raid. It's lovely to have you guys. Think of it this way. You need to manage waste, heat, water, sewage, production chains, electricity, logistics, etc. That sounds like a lot. We are doing well. There is some not coping going on between the anime girls. Can I save? Let me save real quick. We'll save that. Let me show you real quick. So, these are the National Park girls. This is Eve. She's just a ranger. She's not a national park. This is Yosemite National Park. This is Yellowstone National Park. And this is Zion National Park. We are on episode 3. So the first episode was kind of about her. Second one was all about her. Third one, which we're on now, definitely seems to be the Zion episode. But yeah. Didn't know there was... Oh, no. Yosemite's not in the car. That was just the beginning. So basically, Eve punches a dude in the face and gets relocated. She hates people. She hates people. But yeah. So we're slowly reading, enjoying the voice acting. And yeah, it's nice. Didn't know there was a cost. Oh, in the saves? Oh, no. That's from a later episode. Ignore that. I can't actually access that anymore because my save files got corrupted. It shows the thumbnail, but you can't actually click into them. So that's a spoiler. But yeah, thank you, Hakase, for the raid. If you need to go rest, please feel free. Please feel free. I'm gonna turn off my heater real quick. 1 second. I just realized I've had my heater on this whole time, and it's actually a little too hot for me now. And I can't turn it off. Come here. There we go. Motherfucker. Bah. I swear, either the buttons really don't like working on my heater anymore. I need to get a battery for the little remote. But it's one of those like flat disc batteries and I never know where to buy those. But yeah, thank you, Hakase. We're gonna keep reading the diary now. Okay. Blah blah, she's due for a crisis and has made it all herself instead of letting Yellowstone do it. I haven't tried it, but apparently it turned out as well as you would expect. There's something going on between Yosemite and Zion right now. Don't know what, but it's starting to feel like a bomb is about to go off. These girls sure are too human for their own good. And it got me wondering, when was the last time I've done something like this? Just sat underneath a tree and enjoyed the moment. Or have enjoyed anything for that matter. Actually enjoyed it. Not the relief of a good cup, but experiencing something in a way that penetrates through the fog. That makes me feel like I'm living and not just shuffling through life until I wither into the ground. Comfortable silence. Nature and its eternity. Seeing a mountain and knowing it was there before I was born and that it'll stay there long after I'm dead. Feeling tiny and grateful in a world that's far larger and more significant than my ego could ever be. They are very easy to get. They are button batteries. Copper team, the last time I tried to get one, I got the wrong size. I'm really bad at knowing exactly what size and stuff to get. because I always forget to take a photo and I never write down the details. I always think I can eyeball it and I can't eyeball it. Never mind then. See? Hi, Dragonator. These are my favorite things, and these are the things that I enjoy. And yet expressing them, experiencing them, and even feeling them, I'm scared to do it, Teddy. More than a middle of defeat, it would be making myself vulnerable. It doesn't take much either. A bad day, a bad encounter, a bad person. Life has a way of making you resent the things you love. Wouldn't it be better to bury and forget about them? Maybe dig them up every once in a while to get a small glimpse so you don't go completely insane? Eve is not okay. Eve is not okay. But when I look up, I see these three girls, the very embodiment of the green fields and pink mountain cliffs surrounding them. Also embodiment. This is spelled wrong. I start to doubt everything I've just written. Yellowstone is so nurturing, biting her nails simply because she couldn't give everyone a good meal. Zion does her best to make people happy, even if it means eating a plate of their obvious desperation. And Yosemite, for all her flaws, is always grasping at knowledge. Sometimes she just grabs a handful of straws instead, but all she's looking for is truth. They're everything I'm too afraid or too tired to be. Maybe everything I was. I could be that. I could go back to that. I could. Do I want to, though? Am I brave enough to actually take that step, Teddy? What stops me, or anything else that could go wrong, from reverting back to how things are? Nothing. That's what. Nothing at all. I wipe the sandwich crumbs off the page and clap Teddy shut with a sigh. Usually, I come away feeling better after journaling, but I guess when I do it while in a good mood, it just has the opposite effect. I'm never gonna be content, huh? Zion stretches her tiny arms to the sky as a yawn squeaks out of her.
All done. Thank you very much for the food.
Oh, the poor thing ate it all. Her plate is empty enough for me to believe she actually licked all that slop clean. Just how dedicated to Yosemite is this little squirt?
That's my girl! You make Yosemite so happy!
Zion wrinkles her nose. Maybe even she's surprised by how much she's getting babied compared to usual.
Okay. Well,
okay.
if you're happy, then I'm happy. I think.
Unable to bite down on her bottom lip any harder, Yellowstone speaks up.
Zion, you don't have to.
Yellowstone, please!
Yosemite's voice spikes, then comes back down with a crack.
Please, let me do this.
Yosemite, no? At first, it doesn't seem like her pleading is going to work. Yellowstone takes in a breath to let her have it, but she deflates as soon as Yosemite turns to us. She doesn't say anything. Her damp eyes do all the talking. She forces a shaky smile and turns back to Zion.
So, how are you feeling now?
No matter how happy of a tone she puts on, her labored breath makes every word ring with hollow desperation.
I'm not sure. A little queasy. I think from the food.
Whatever facade Zion was trying to keep up for Yosemite's sake is starting to fall apart. Even the simple act of looking at Yosemite seems too much for her to bear as her voice begins to crumble.
But did it remind you of anything? Did it make you nostalgic?
Nostalgic for eating garbage?
I don't care if you liked it or not. All I want to know is that it worked. Please, tell me it worked.
No. Yosemite fires off strings of panic. They come shooting out of her mouth as quick as they exit. Whatever all of this has been building up to, it's coming to a head. Can't say I'm happy to have a front row seat to it.
I'm sorry.
No! What did I tell you? Don't apologize. Nothing is accomplished that way.
So they're national parks? I don't think it's like her sister. It's more like... Because she seemed to be older. She seemed to be older and she seems to have like reincarnated or sort of shrunk or become like this young version instead that doesn't have the memories of the old one. And Yosemite's not dealing with that. Zion winces as Yosemite's fingers grip into her shoulders. Through squinted eyes, droplets of tears start to fall from her lashes. She can't squirm away. Yosemite is forcing her to look at her, to witness this sad performance face to face.
Please, Yosemite,
Why not? You must remember something. It can't just all be gone.
I don't know what you're talking about. All I want is for you to be happy, Yosemite. Please tell me how to make you happy.
What the hell is this?
I need you to tell me that you remember this place.
It feels too personal. It feels too visceral.
That you can remember me hiding in bushes and staying until we could see the stars.
She shakes Zion, like if she does it hard enough, the information will just spill out of her.
Tell me the story, Zion!
I hate it.
I don't know what story.
Cut the crap, Yosemite! Whatever
Yay!
you're trying to do isn't working!
She ignores me. Nothing I said broke through. I'm not even sure she heard.
Then tell me what you remember! Tell me how you feel!
Scared!
Yay! A cloud of ash plumes out of Yellowstone's head. She jumps to her feet. The familiar wave of heat pushes toward me. My ears pop like a jet got too close to the ground and broke the sound barrier.
Put a sock in it, Yosemite!
Yellowstone's fury is carved into her face. A deep scowl etched in lines from her nose to her lips. Magma seeps over the top of the volcano and streams down her head. Yosemite sits there in a daze, her grip on Zion's shoulders now just a limp hold. Zion doesn't even need to break away. She rushes over to Yellowstone and buries herself in her stomach, sobbing into her jacket.
I know what you're trying to pull, and I get it. It breaks my ticker, too. But this ain't right. Zion felt bad for you. I felt bad for you. It's the only reason I let this go on for so long. But you did what you always do and took it too far. She don't even remember anything, and you still did it. Well, listen here, Missy. You can throw your weight around when it comes to the rest of us, but I ain't gonna let you do it to Zion.
Let's go!
If you actually care about her and aren't just being a selfish square, then you'll leave well enough alone.
Yosemite, her hands still stretched out, brings them in and takes a long, horrified look at them.
I didn't mean...
She can't finish her sentence. Yellowstone glares at her like a beast shielding its cub from a hunter. She switches over to me, but I look away.
I'm so sorry.
The words tumble out in a hoarse whisper. Yosemite scrambles to her feet and runs off into the forest, disappearing in the thick of the trees. When all is silent, Yellowstone lets out a long sigh and flops back down on the blanket, bringing Zion with her, still nestled in a tight hug. Most of the lava has dried already, but clumps of smoke still wisp from her head like a candle was just blown up.
So, are you going to give me an explanation?
Not now, Eve. It ain't a good time.
Yellowstone strokes Zion's hair, combing out any stray leaves that have gotten in. Zion clings to her in bawls, the tears streaming down her round cheeks like waterfalls.
I just wish she wasn't hurting so much. Why is it so hard for her to be happy?
That last one hits hard enough to knock the air out of me. Why is it so hard to be happy? For me, it's because I think too much. Downfall of mankind, really. But Yosemite? The pain in the ass who prides herself in having all the answers? The one who is always going around telling me how I should live my life? What's her malfunction? Does she get to have one? After being so insistent about being right all the time, acting all high and mighty like she's some kind of bastion of wisdom and foresight. No, I won't let her. She doesn't get to be unhappy. Not after sitting across the table from me every morning and butting her way into my head. Not after stumbling over her ego enough to make me think she might actually get it in some small way. And not after making Zion cry.
Could you get out of Dodge for a bit, Eve? We need to be alone for a minute.
Sure. Was just about to go for a walk anyway.
I was gonna be like, you guys teleported her here, but I suppose she wants to walk away around the park. I crack my knuckles, leaving Zion and Yellowstone in the ruins of the picnic. With my eyes toward the forest, I follow the direction Yosemite ran in and trample across the field. I'm swallowed by the shadows of the trees as I hike deeper into the forest, dodging low branches and paving new paths where people may not have treaded in decades, if ever. Unfamiliar birds chirp from every direction as I rustle through their home. The soil is moist and dark here, my boots sinking into it with every step I take. One would think that would make it easy to track down Yosemite, but it's like she had no environmental impact at all. 0 footprints and not even trampled grass. Yeah, she's stuck in Utah if they bail. For a second, I start to think she zapped herself back to the cabin, but then between tangled branches, I catch a glimpse of her blue hair. These girls sure have a way of running off into the woods when they don't want to confront reality. I swat away the leaves and march into the clearing. She tenses up. Her pointed ears twitch, then her shoulders relax.
Here to lecture me, I see.
As a matter of fact,
Don't waste your breath. I know what I've done.
I'll use my breath however I damn well please, including to chew you out.
Yeah!
Escalating as always.
How about my fists adjust your definition of escalation?
See, that's your problem. When you get the emotion bug, you have no clue how to quarantine it. So you lash out and punch people in the face.
I mean, Utah isn't that bad. I'm sure Utah is lovely. It's just they're in the middle of a national park, baskets. Don't people get lost and die there? Don't people get lost and die in, like, wilderness? I couldn't care less what state it is. It's more about being lost in the wilderness.
It's
Quit the charade!
Clenching my teeth, I groan and stomp the dead grass over and over. I don't punch trees. This is all I can do.
What the hell was that back there, huh?
Yosemite freezes, her eyes unblinking as I finish kicking the dirt and catching my breath. I'm not sure which one tired me out more. It's so much effort being angry all the time. So much. Why do caring and not caring have to be so hard?
It was desperation, I suppose.
Her ears flatten, and for an unshielded second, her arrow-straight posture sinks too. I mean, he's a ranger. She can figure out how to survive long enough. True, unless it gets, like, cold or something. Because she was worried in the last chapter about dying. Like, so I kind of assume that it can happen to, like, lots of people. Also, there are a lot of dead people, like, who were once experts or who were once, you know, well-equipped or well-prepared. So, nature's scary. Nature is scary.
No. More like panic. A flash of it all at once. When you break, and you feel you need to take an action. Any action. Or get swallowed by it.
Is it a Zion thing?
It's more than that. It's a crisis of dread rooted in existential...
Is it a Zion thing?
It's a Zion thing.
I love that she was really far away in that last recorded line, and now she's back up close. She finally admits something with actual clarity and not vague poetry.
And what did Zion do?
Nothing. She's done nothing. She's as kind and nurturing and wonderful as she always has been. For as long as I can remember. Most likely before that, too. I'm the one who causes the issues. Who thinks too much, says too much, tries too hard in all the wrong ways. Bet you know that by now.
Glad to see you've developed some self-awareness.
I've always had it. It's just easier to suppress it than elaborate on it.
For the first time, she may have said something that's actually hard to argue with. I think I'd rather get lost in... I think that's definitely a personal preference sort of thing. And when I see her like this, sulking in the middle of a clearing, like a kid lost in the woods, too deep in to know which direction to take next, it's enough to make me agree with her. There's always been something weird going on with Zion, since the moment they all burst out of that closet pretending to be ghosts. The way they talk about her, how they treat her. We all baby her, sure, but there's a real reverence there, too. Not too different to how you might treat a grandparent or someone fading away in a nursing home.
Yosemite.
I can hear her draw in a sharp, steadying breath.
What happened to Zion?
She exhales. Her breath comes out in spurts and sputters. Yosemite running on empty.
What happens to everything? Time.
My knee-jerk reaction is to berate her for not spitting it out, but then I remember something. Things both Yellowstone and Yosemite have said. that Zion can't help out like she used to. Is somebody feeding me some mumbo-jumbo about human perception shaping reality? That comment I made about park puberty might not have been far off. Is this new? This feels new? Thank you, Gamer Subs. Come on. Back you go. Back. I want to see Eve's face. There we go.
She's changed?
Use code Vivi. 10% off. 10% off survival in the wilderness. So many turns. Not enough to face me. I don't think she could manage that right now. All I get is her side profile. The sunlight breaks through the branches above us and glistens on the pebbles speckled across her face. A tear twinkles from the corner of her eye.
So much. And she used to be so much. So much.
Her fists clench, fingernails digging into her skin. The words seem to linger right behind the tongue, unable to come to her. She tosses her hands through her hair until it looks like a mop.
So much more than she is now. It's completely and utterly unfair.
Her voice cracks. The wind whistles through the circle of trees surrounding us. It's as if her breathing, scattered and heavy, is composing the breeze. It's uncomfortable seeing this kind of vulnerability from her. How do I stop this? Where's that part of me that just wants to laugh in her smug face and tell her to get over it? That sulking in the forest isn't any way for the queen bitch to present herself. It would usually just come right out of me without a second to even filter through my head. But right now, it feels like all I want is to know. What brings the being I look at on the opposite side of the table every morning to this state?
What was she like?
My voice comes out softer than I ever expected. In the last 5 years, I've probably only used that tone of voice for pup or random critters I see off the side of the trail. Yosemite turns her head to me. Her eyes slowly narrow, looking me over. She raises her brows, suspicion puppeting every subconscious move her body makes away from me. I frown as I notice it. Her ears flicker, eyes going from narrow to wide with surprise. She quickly glances away, back to the side profile. She wanders a few steps closer.
She was like the forest, tall and wise and dignified. If there was something to be known, then she knew it. Every creature, story, and act of nature. If it was within her bounds, she lived alongside it and advocated its spirit. And when she found me, I was included in those bounds as well. All of me. The valley and everything else.
Yosemite had always told me my thinking was too linear. I told her she didn't make any sense. But when she says these things out loud, things that sound far off, almost ancient, I think I get it. As well as I can understand things that might actually be beyond my comprehension. Yeah, you can sometimes hear that sometimes. I think that is like something that happens during like independent games like this. The audio quality doesn't always match up line to line. Feeling so far out of my depth, I may as well be in the Mariana Trench. I crack an uneasy chuckle.
You make her sound like an actual angel.
If you had known her, you would have thought she were a goddess.
Yosemite snaps in my direction, biting off a small chunk of the conversation. Immediately, she cringes. It makes me wonder if that means she actually feels regret. But of course she does. Of course she does. The lull comes to an end with a chuckle on her own. Just one, though. Nervous and solitary.
Her wings used to be bigger, you know? Well, all of her was bigger, I suppose. But her wings could stretch out as far as she was tall. Sometimes they seemed big enough to block out the sky. She used to wrap me in them. Her feathers were like clouds and she was warm. And she would look down at me and talk. Teach. I remember it. The images are getting fuzzier and fuzzier. But I can still remember how it felt. But she can't.
Now it all comes together. The story she was so desperate to hear. This whole outing.
The picnic didn't jog her memory like you wanted. Is that it?
There has to be something that can.
I don't want to accept that all of it is just gone.
Yozo!
If she forgets herself, and then I forget her, then what proof will there be that any of it was real? That she was real?
Cute girl Hello, Yozo. Cute girls abound, don't they? We are VTubers. Guys, may I introduce you to brand new VTuber, Yozo, not to be confused with, Yozo Owie. It was so funny when your name changed in the middle of the stream. And we all had to refresh the stream. But hello, Yozo. How is Slay the Spire? Welcome, welcome, Raiders. It's lovely to have you. Hi, I am Vivi, a fellow Yozo fan. So you are in good company because I also love the Yozo. I really like the Spyro streams. The Ban Fear. But hello, welcome. I am radioactive Australian VTuber and I do whatever the fuck I want. Ba-bang. And we're playing a visual novel today. We are playing National Park Girls. And we are at a little bit of an emotional time, but I'm gonna save because I want to show you what people look like. Overwrite that save. They are cute. So, do you guys know, like, what Gijinka are? Like, when people would make Pokemon into, like, anime girls and stuff like that. It's like the animeification of things. So, this is that. This is that. So, thank you for explaining. Yes, thank you. So, this is Yosemite National Park. This is Yellowstone National Park. And this is Zion National Park. I don't know anything about Yosemite. I do know that Yellowstone is where the super volcano is. And I know that Zion is where Joshua Graham in New Vegas is. But yeah, so we've just been reading through this. We're on the 3rd episode. You're all caught up, by the way. You're all caught up, by the way. Okay? If you're like, oh man, 3 episodes, I've missed too much. Nah, you're all caught up. You're all, yes, it is Yuri, but I think the payoff doesn't happen until episode 5, so we are waiting until then. We are currently on episode 3. There has been a lot of beautiful lesbian tension, though. Mostly between these two. Mostly between these two. They have hugged at one point. Yes, it's slow burn. Slow burn. Studio Elan does a very good job. They do a very good job with it. Not sponsored, by the way. Not sponsored. But I have applied. But yeah, thank you so much for the raid, Yozo. If you need to go rest or eat or drink or sleep, you do whatever you gotta do. We're gonna keep on reading about the cute anime girls because we like doing that. But yeah, thank you guys so much for coming by. And I'm so happy to see you. Alright, we're gonna keep going. But thank you again. Mwah! We love Yozo. We love Yozo. Okay. Poor Zion. Not because she's forgotten herself or whatever. Oh, okay, so basically to explain this, the little yellow one, the lolly, used to be a full-grown, like, goddess-looking, like, tall anime woman. Okay, now you're caught up. She doesn't look like that anymore, and this one's sad. This one is sad because it was like, it seems like she had like a parent-child kind of relationship, and it's like she's lost her parent. It's kind of like losing an older family member, like a metaphor for that, kind of. Not because she's forgotten herself or whatever, but because Yosemite can't accept the her that she is now, that her entire existence is deemed invalid because of Yosemite. How Zion must be forced to play along simply because of Yosemite's feelings. Now I get why Yellowstone was so upset.
That's real screwed up. All she knows is that you have high expectations, and you'll be sad if they aren't met.
Aww.
If she can't even remember anything, then how can you expect her to ever meet those?
Go off, Eve!
It's a litmus test, and a crummy one at that.
I'm ready for her to throw something right back at me, but she hardly reacts.
Call it what you want. Doing nothing would have been a betrayal to everything she did to make me who I am now. The only other option is to accept that the Zion who was real to me has been obliterated.
Yeah, Yosemite's in the wrong, but it would be a very difficult situation to be in emotionally. But she is not dealing with it well at all. At all. Yosemite do bad. Have a good sleep, oh Tycoon. She starts for the other end of the clearing, further from the picnic than before. Then she stops at the mouth of 2 trees.
You might not believe me, but I am sorry that you were dragged into this. I know I'm selfish, angry. I don't mean for it to infect everything.
I call out to her, straining my voice so that she can hear me loud and clear from the other side.
You're only selfish if you can't accept her.
She glances over her shoulder.
Would you?
Hi, Chespin. The shade engulfs her as she fades back into the forest. When she's gone, the breeze stops. Birds return to the clearing, chirping as they warm themselves in the beams of sun spotting the ground. A long sigh heaves out of me. I didn't even know I was holding my breath. Okay, I'm sorry. I have to take one quick second. That line that just happened. The line, or something akin to this, like, I let go of a breath I didn't know I was holding. This line, this motherfucker right here. Sorry to the writer. You're good at writing, okay? But I do have to point this out because I was guilty of this too. This line was hugely popular in young adult fiction from about 2010, 2011, until I stopped reading around 2017. Like, every book had it. Every book had, I let go of a breath I didn't even know I was holding. It was a very cliche trope line. And seeing this again has just sparked my heart. Because I'm like, oh, the nostalgia for overused lines. Oh my God, I remember this. This was like one of the, like, the book wasn't done until you put in the, I let go of a breath I didn't even know I was holding. Like, it was in everything. It was in all the books I fucking read. It was hilarious. Anyway. anyway. I lean against the rough bark of the tree I thought about punching earlier. The thought strikes me again now, but despite all that, I still can't bring myself to do it. It's a tree. Can't make that change. Punch that tree. Read those letters. After all, if the real Zion was obliterated through change, then why would I ever commit to it? That's different, Eve. It's different.
You can't go out. Not when the weather's so nasty.
Hi, Shucks. Yes and no. In that they are national park girls, and it's kind of a slow burn. Maybe something will happen, but you don't get to pick who. You don't get to pick who. It's a kinetic novel. We're on a railroad, okay? Like, we're on rails. Ooh, a flash of lightning blots out the world, just for a second. It must not be too far away either, because thunder crashes outside, as if it were right up in my ear. The entire cabin shakes.
The weather wouldn't hurt me, Yellowstone. It wouldn't hurt you either.
Pup whines, trembling beneath the table as he sits on my feet. Hope you're doing well, Shucks.
So, that don't mean I'm not allowed to worry. First Yosemite runs off, and now you too. It just ain't right.
I finish reading through another form, then tear it in two.
Oh, please. Stop pretending like you're human. Anyone would get sick of the charade going on inside this cabin after long enough.
Yellowstone shoots a pointed glare at me, gives Zion just enough time to open the door and slink onto the patio. The wind is so harsh it blows the rain into the cabin.
I'm sorry, Yellowstone, but I need to think.
Hey! Wait!
The door slams shut, leaving Yellowstone to stare at it, her hand still stretched out for Zion.
That was a real crummy thing to say. We might not be human, but we have feelers that work just as well as yours.
Sorry to hear that.
I unfold the next feedback form and read through it. This one is from a Robert Sanchez, who wanted to extend his thanks to the ranger who walked with him to the river. I remember this geezer. He was looking for a specific spot his wife liked coming to before she passed. It rips in half without any trouble. I take the two halves and rip it again, this time into 4 quarters.
Just take advantage of not being human. It's your biggest strength. Don't have to worry about the same crap we do.
That's a fib. If we're strong, it's 'cause we're so much like people. That's the way I see it.
Don't look so smug. If Yosemite's collective consciousness mumbo-jumbo is right, then you 3 came from people. That's a tragedy, if you ask me. Rise above it.
You just keep being a negative Nancy. I'll keep being a correct Kathy.
She folds her arms and smirks, doubling down on her smugness. But the smirk softens, dissolving into a genuine smile. If she was offended by my cynicism, then she's already moved on from it. That's the thing about Yellowstone. She's always being saddled with everyone else's negativity. Maybe she's never actually does move on from it, just packs it away somewhere inside her, only letting it all burst out of her when she can't contain it anymore. Always smiling until she can't.
Sorry.
I don't even unfold and read the next form. Just rip it.
No big dealio. We've all had a rough go of it today.
She takes the chair Yosemite usually sits in and spins it around before squatting in it backwards. Oh, she's sitting like a cool person. She tips it back and forth. 2 legs always off the ground.
We know who to thank for it, at least.
The front 2 legs of the chair slam down on the floor. Yellowstone's bottom lip quivers in sudden horror.
Me?
Not unless you're 6 feet tall and have blue hair.
Marge Simpson? It's not even relief that colors her face, only blank acknowledgement.
Yeah.
There's a gap in the conversation, if you could even call it that. The wailing of the storm is the only thing keeping it from lapsing into dead silence.
I know it's easy to get steamed at Yosemite. I'm kinda steamed at Yosemite. But she's sad. And she's been sad for a while. I tried my darndest to keep the fat lady singing for as long as I could, but when she's ready to yodel, by golly, she's gonna yodel. Don't pin too much on her, please.
I'm not sure that's a request I can honor. My feelings on Yosemite keep getting more and more complicated. She's a rival, a validator, smart, snooty, kind, cruel. There could be an entire dictionary of words to describe her. She can bully Yellowstone into hating herself or manipulate Zion to the point of tears while at the same time scolding me about my work and the nature of myself. Do I hate her? Respect her? Tolerate her? Are we friends? Sometimes it feels like we're friends. In a way, we've always been, since I first started coming to this park as a little kid. But to admit that is to take a step, to change. Isn't change obliteration, according to her? That's actually one of the few things she said that I find easy to believe, or at least convenient to.
She told me about how different Zion used to be, you know?
There's no audible sigh, but her shoulders slump.
When did it start? Have you always known?
She stares down at the table, eyeing in on a cup stain, probably from Yosemite's tea. Her finger traces over the ring in an infinite circle.
I think it had already started by the time they found me. But even back then, Zion was different.
Different... how?
Shrugging with one shoulder, the other one stays in place so she can keep tracing.
Just different. A little taller, maybe?
Hi, hubby.
I don't remember so well. It's like I can think it, but I can't see it. Feelings come back the strongest.
That reminds me of something Yosemite said. If she forgets herself and then I forget her, then what proof will there be that any of it was real? Yellowstone is clearer about explaining this kind of stuff. She doesn't lapse into theatrics, but the impression I get is still the same. Maybe they all forget, at one point or another.
The more big ol' Zion changed to little ol' Zion, the clearer she gets in my noggin.
The usual brightness in Yellowstone's voice shines through as she recollects.
And the crankier Yosemite got.
That little burst of sunshine is short-lived, though. The mere mention of Yosemite seems like it's enough to suck the light out of anything.
I always figured she was such a sourpuss 'cause of me, you know? That her and Zion had something real swell going on, and that by me being here, I had jammed it all up.
Aww. So she's always thought that she wasn't wanted. Is that why Yellowstone is always doing everything to be useful? So she doesn't feel like she's hated? And why she's put up with thinking she's been hated? That's fucked up.
Cooking, cleaning...
No, she just
all that
admits
good
it!
stuff. I do it 'cause I'm grateful for the company.
Aww.
And I guess at some point I started hoping the gratitude would make her less sad.
Aww.
Ever think that some people are just sad by their very nature?
Being sad is natural. All suffering is. But suffer too long and you kind of remove yourself from nature. You want to move with the circle, not get left behind in it. That way, when it comes back around, you're ready.
You think Yosemite, a representative of nature, has removed herself from it?
Oh, I think it's something a whole lot of people do.
Not me feeling awkward because I live in my house and have lived in my house since 2019. Oops. Yellowstone decides to punctuate her point by bouncing her eyebrows.
Ha.
I take another form from the pile and skim over it. Not many more to go now.
Say, what are those papers you keep tearing up?
Nothing important.
The pieces flutter to the ground and I go for the next one.
As the gal who's gonna have to sweep them up, I'd say it's pretty important to me.
I'll clean them up then.
I'm going for the next one, but she swipes the stack off the table before I can. She grins at me with her teeth, revealing 2 rows of polished pearly whites. My eyes glaze over.
They're feedback forms. Visitors can fill them out. Most do it to complain. All these ones happen to mention me.
Ooh, juicy gossip.
She quickly unfolds the entire stack. Her eyes scan from left to right as she reads through the first page.
Hey, this don't look like moaning to me. In fact, they're saying some real nice things about ya. Handwriting could be better, though.
Yeah, they're all like that. My supervisor wanted me to read them.
So why are you ripping them all up?
Because they're convenient lies.
She licks her thumb and shuffles to the next form.
You mean none of these things actually happened?
Oh, they happened, all right. I just think they got the wrong impression of me. Take a look at any of those and tell me if it sounds like me.
I think they do.
Then, for my sake, I hope you're wrong.
Yellowstone flips to the next form, saying nothing as she reads through it. She stares at it for a good long time, her eyes unmoving, like she's narrowing in on one spot. Then she starts digging around in her head again. Great. Really wish she would warn me before doing this. At least I won't have to eat whatever comes out of there this time, I hope. She whips out a small roll of tape, tears off a piece, then bends both sides together to make it double-sided. All I do is watch as she does this a couple more times and sticks them to the back of the form she was reading.
Having fun?
She answers by snagging Teddy off the table and slapping the form onto the first free page.
Hey! That's my journal, not your arts and crafts project!
I leap out of my chair and rush to the other side of the table, ready to pry Teddy out of her soon-to-be cold, dead hands. She doesn't retaliate, though, already presenting the book to me before I have the chance to get physical. I rip it out of her hand.
You're dead.
I wish they made a sprite of Yellowstone with her arm elbow deep. I feel like that'd be really hard to draw. Like, really hard.
Read it.
I glare at her, still contemplating all the sharp objects I could shove inside her head. Damn,
Go
Eve.
on, don't be shy.
I look down at Teddy. The edges of the form she taped in there are sticking out of the journal, breaking up the aligned cohesion of every other page. Acting more like a bookmarker, the form doesn't even let me flip through the pages. All I have to do is open it up and I'm there. There's no name, number, email address, or even a listed date. Aside from logos and the formal "tell us how we're doing," all there is to read is the print on the paragraph lines. Didn't catch her name, but I wanted to thank that one ginger ranger for sitting down next to me on that log while we're eating lunch. We only said a few words to each other, but I'm still here for the time being because of it. Fuck!
Something wrong with being valued, Eve.
Fuck! Oh, that's heavy. That's important, but heavy. Damn. Okay. Everything just stops. My heart, my bitching, hell, maybe even my lungs, because I'm not even sure I'm breathing. There's no way. I'm not valuable. Not worth being valued. A flash of white blinds me, and a few seconds later I hear the thunder behind it. When my sight comes back, the room is dark, filled with shadows.
Ah, phooey. The darn lights went out.
Yellowstone scurries across the room from window to window, drawing open the curtains to let in the natural light. It gives me enough time to iron out the lump in my throat and choke down the stray sobs. I'm not valuable. But to one person, I guess I was. Because at the end of the day, it didn't matter if they had the wrong impression of me or not, as long as they saw the end of the day. There's a faint knock at the door. And look at that, just as there's a knock at the door. Hello! Hello. Nakoela. Hello. How you doing? Let me get you a shout out. How are you? What were you chatting about? What do you mean? How am I not following you on Twitch? What the? We've been mutuals for ages. What the? Hi. How have you been? How are you? I hope you had a lovely stream. Hi. I have fixed that, by the way. I hit the button. Hi. Hello. I hope you had a lovely stream. Hello, Raiders. I'm Vivi of Vividly Vivi, radioactive Australian VTuber, and here we do whatever the fuck I want. Ba-bang. We're playing National Park Girls, and it's a bit of an emotional moment at the moment. Aw. See, this is why I like streaming at random times during the day sometimes, because then we can run across each other when we usually can't. But it's really lovely to have you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it that you would come by after finishing your stream. Thank you so much. But yeah, played some of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Okay, I haven't played any Final Fantasy VIIs. I think I played the original, but I played only like one disc maybe, and that was when I was very young. That was when I was like 8, 9, something like that. I had to borrow it from a friend. But yeah, I hope that Rebirth has been nice. I hope it's been good. But yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. But yeah, we just had a very emotional moment. So we're just gonna keep going. But yeah, thank you so much. If you need to go rest, need to go eat, drink, sleep, take care of yourself, and that goes for any Raiders. But yeah, we're gonna keep on going. This is fully voice acted, so it's kind of like watching anime together. It's a little bit like watching anime together, because it's fully voice acted except for the narration. So I just do the narration. I just like that the raid happened as soon as there was a knocking at the door. That was crazy. Yellowstone freezes in place, both arms spread out, opening up the curtain. I wipe away the tears still stuck to my cheeks.
I'm done thinking. Is it okay if I come back in now?
Oh. Zion's muffled voice is barely audible over the sound of rain and thunder, but I can hear her usual polite timidness ring out like a church bell. Guess she didn't outright exile herself like Yosemite did. Don't get why she has to ask permission to come back in from a walk she decided to go out on, though. Yellowstone rushes to the bathroom, then shuffles back out, a fresh towel in hand. She opens the front door so fast that I wouldn't be surprised if she wound up tearing it off the hinges.
Come in, I'll give you shelter from the storm.
She ushers Zion inside and closes the door behind her. She's sopping wet. Even her wings are weighed down by water dripping from them. A puddle forms around her feet.
Just look at ya, you're soaked to the bone.
But yes, hi everybody, hi. Without missing a beat, Yellowstone kneels down and starts drying Zion off with a towel. There's no method to it. She just spastically scrubs every area of her body like you might do with your hair after getting out of a shower.
Sorry for getting upset earlier.
Her words are jumbled and muffled by the towel.
It ain't no thing.
Yellowstone. She stops scrubbing and Zion's head pops out of the towel. Dry the baby. Poor Zion looks as guilty as a felon despite being the victim in all this. Where's Yosemite?
You're not fibbing, are you?
Where's Yosemite?
Of course not. We've all been getting a little peeved lately, so I think your lid is entitled to at least one flip.
Okay. I still think it was childish of me, though.
I've appreciated that Yosemite hasn't said dope AF at least once this episode, though. She seemed to have left that in episode 2. They smile at each other, then clunk foreheads and nuzzle them together. Yellowstone mentioned that Yosemite had a bad case of Mama Bear syndrome, but looking at this, I have to wonder who might have it worse.
You got back here quick. Sure you did enough thinking out there?
She jumps at the sound of my voice, my presence making itself known from the shadows.
Probably not as much thinking as you do, Miss Eve.
No, you will?
Too much of it if you ask me.
It's better than thinking too little. Probably.
It's not. She breaks away from Yellowstone, who is still in the middle of drying her, and gets a few steps closer to me. Yellowstone pouts as she wipes up the drops of water behind her.
Actually, the reason I came back is because I wanted to talk to you.
To me? Don't know if you noticed, but I don't have the most engaging personality.
That not true. Yosemite wouldn't like you as much as she does if that were the case.
The words start to stumble out, but just end up sputtering to a stop. No response for that. Yosemite doesn't actually like me, right? Only tolerates me. Unless she really does. My god. That's horrifying. Not because she might see me as an acquaintance that she enjoys spending time with, but because I'm okay with it. God damn it, Eve! Instead of walking the rest of the way to me, she gets up and floats to meet me, eye to eye.
Could you possibly take my hand? I'd like to go somewhere special for this.
She extends her hand to me. I don't immediately grab it.
Another field trip! Do we want to try for another picnic?
Actually, Yellowstone...
You're not invited. Yellowstone scrunches up her face like she's trying to do long division. I'm a little worried at first, but she finally gets the right equation.
Oh, I see how it is. You cats think you're too cool for school. A bumpkin like me would just cramp your style.
Zion gasps at the notion. She starts to speak, but Yellowstone turns around and waves us off.
Go on, get. Old Yellowstone will hold down the fort like she always does.
Her dismissive hand slips into a thumbs up. Zion breathes a relieved sigh.
Thank you.
Hold on, I haven't agreed to anything yet.
That's okay. You'd end up doing it anyway.
Well, she's not wrong. She clasps my hand and smiles.
Ready?
Yeah, fine.
Static. I'm swept away. The ground gives way beneath me. As to the walls, the air, anything familiar to ground me is gone. All engulfed by the sizzling of electricity running through me. Then darkness. A deep, eternal darkness, the most natural I've ever seen. It doesn't feel dangerous or scary, just inviting, like the indescribable space I'm falling through are cradling arms of something much bigger. I want to let go. Then there's ground. I stumble for footing, but when you're going to slip, there's never any stopping it.
Ah, son of a...
My knees slam down on jagged rock. Tiny pebbles meld into my shins. My jeans weren't already shredded. This would have done the trick.
Such a bumpy landing. You weren't thinking about letting go, were you?
Zion gently floats down beside me. Her wings tuck in as both feet gently touch the ground.
Does it matter if I was? Ouch.
It does! You mustn't even think of it. Never, ever.
Before I can let myself truly meditate on the pain, Zion bends over and helps me up. I dust myself off, but try not to look at my knees. If it's going to leave a mark, I'd rather not see it.
So, I'm guessing we're somewhere in Zion.
A chill wind blows right through me, tossing my hair. Red and orange mountain cliffs bookend a winding, vibrant valley. It encapsulates the area tightly enough to be a canyon. The only proof that there's something beyond here, and there's an end, is the river curving through the green inferno, bending out of sight behind a mountain. To a place I'll probably never see, never step foot in.
Feeling enraptured?
Only so many vistas you girls can show me before that stops happening.
I don't believe that's true.
Yeah. It's not.
The smell here is different from Yosemite. I don't even catch a whiff of that familiar alpine scent I left so much. The air here is so thin and crisp, it could almost be called odorless, if not for the faint hint of sage that peppers the back of my throat. It's all so clean. Never saw any dead bodies in Zion. I did see a lot of drunks and a fuckload of eagles and birds. I would love to ask, like, I don't know, someone who's been to all of the parks, like, a lot, or, like, put it together and be like, hey, what is every national park famous for? And not like the sites, I mean, like, people. Like, the experience you will have there. Like, what is the top 10 national parks? What are the bottom 10 national parks? Like, what is the worst national park to go to? I'm in a book, Vivi. How many have you been to? Give me a number. Give me a number.
Is this where your painting is?
Angel's Landing. That's correct. Although, I'd like to think of it more as a portrait.
I'm not gonna believe you, Snow, because I saw you wrote, I'm a pathological liar, so take that for what you will.
Anything with a frame usually is.
Though with a name like Angel's Landing, it's not always this blunt. What do you mean you're in a book, by the way? What do you mean you're in a book, Donut Bro? Are you How many national... You've been to 56-ish. You've been to 56-ish. That's crazy. She smirks.
It seems the best of us is rubbing off on you.
By the way, somehow during this stream, I have broken my nail. Somehow during this stream, I have broken one of my nails. How the fuck did I manage that? I've been sitting here clicking a button. What the hell? Zion closes her eyes, taking in a deep, steadying breath. It all feels so cyclical this way, in a way. She's taking in air from her land. It filters through her, and then she breathes it all back out. Assuming she has lungs. Assuming anything. She draws her eyes from the green expanse, locking them on her bare feet. A troubled frown has carved itself deep into her face. Not that she hasn't always seemed troubled, frantic little thing that she is. Thank you for the follow, by the way.
Miss Eve, I believe I was being wishy-washy today.
Why? Because you couldn't stand up to Yosemite? She was always gonna push it as far as she could. It's her malfunction, not yours.
It was never about standing up for myself. What I'm guilty of is much worse. I wasn't able to commit to the truth. I had told you that change is natural.
As gradual as the passing of the dusk to dawn.
I echo her words back at her. She freezes, a little surprised that I remembered it maybe. A somber look on her face tells me that all I've done is just reinforce what she's determined to be the truth.
Yes, that's right.
Okay. I'm sorry, I have to talk about this right now because I did see this pic. I almost used this as the thumbnail for today's stream, but I didn't. And the reason is... Why Eve so caked up, though? I'm sorry to ruin the moment. I really am, but... Damn! She a bakery. Beautiful game. I got my signature in a book for folks that have been to and stayed in every Great Lodge in a national park. Crest Wolf is not a great lodge. They're different subjects entirely. Wow. From Yellowstone's cooking. Damn. My god, I wasn't the only one who noticed. So, nice ass, by the way. Anyways. Okay, what of you?
And yet, I wasn't certain enough to contradict that almost immediately afterwards. Telling you that we do what we can for as long as we can. But that's resisting change. It's a terrible thing. To indulge someone else's stagnation. That's what I did to Yosemite.
I guess that's one way to look at it, but there's something about it that bugs me. It shifts personal accountability from Yosemite to Zion. However, I don't believe for a second that was ever Yosemite's intention. I have my issues with her and how she's acted, but there's always something about it I can relate to. There's no way I could ever read her mind, but I think it would only make her feel worse if she knew Zion was blaming herself in this way.
You know, after she ran, I went and tracked her down.
That was a very kind thing to do.
To chew her out.
Oh.
Every reason and justification she gave me sounded selfish and brain dead. For someone who exclusively speaks with words that are over 2 syllables,
Welcome.
she sure has trouble articulating herself. But after cooling off a little, I think I sort of get it.
It's interesting. Even from up here, overlooking everything that there is in the valley, I can still make out fine details. The biggest one is the flow of the river's current. Unlike Zion's portrait, there aren't any white or black dashes in the water to communicate the movement to the river. All I have to do is look at it, and I know it's moving forward.
She's afraid. Not of change, but what can be left behind because of it. Who you used to be might be different than who you are now, even if you still think you're that person. New isn't scary, but the idea that the old might not be there anymore is. The drama queen compared it to obliteration. And she said that's what happened to you.
I've been dancing around this subject with Zion for long enough. We can talk all day about symbology and allegory that that hint at what happened to her, but that's not honest. I think she knows it too. She smiles like an old master thief finally caught in the act. It's an expression suited to someone far older than how she looks.
Do you know what happened to you?
It's not about knowing, Miss Eve. Anyone can tell their sunburn if they've been outside long enough. I don't remember. It's like you said. Whoever I was is much different than who I am now.
A dull sadness pulses somewhere hidden in my chest. I'm not sure if it's anything deep, just a shallow wistfulness.
But to say that I've been obliterated would be a true disservice to whoever it is that I was.
I'm sorry, I'm so sure this is very thought-provoking, but I can't stop paying attention to the cake. Can I lean in real quick? Okay, one sec. Is that good? Did you get it? Yeah, that works. Bless. No more cake for you. I have brownies in the fridge. Can I still have them? A sharp wind pushes at us from behind. Zion's satisfied smile gets a little bigger as her eyes sneak to her peripheral. I make a subtle turn to see what she's looking at. Behind us, Yosemite's tall figure watches from the brush. Brush. I said bush. I'm so Australian. She stands still, careful to do nothing that would make herself known.
Obliteration isn't real. Everything echoes. Whether me, you, or anyone else knows it or not. Everything is passed down. No one ever truly leaves their old self behind. The old informs the new. It'd be imaginary without it. And not just ourselves, but others too.
We spank it once. Oh my god, I need that as an edit. I just need Eve on the cliff and holding the hand up like Donkey Kong doing the once. You may spank it once.
It's not scary, not one tiny bit. Because any part of yourself that's ever been will always be.
I wonder who she's talking to at this point. It's cheeky. More like a sneaky imp than a delicate angel. But who can stand beside an angel and argue with their message aside from the devil and his advocates?
So the residual effects of misery last forever, huh?
Yes, has the building blocks to much better things.
Only to be tossed into the lake of fire. Now that's real obliteration. Cheeky, you say? Guys, we're respectful. Strands of Zion's golden hair flutter in the breeze. Petals and leaves fall off her body, drifting into the clear blue sky. Back in California at the cabin, I'll bet the storm is still raging. Dark skies and howling wind. National parks have the range of a choir.
So, can I ask a question?
I think you just did, but another one is okay too.
Do you, have the wings because of the names of places like this? Or is there a logistical reason for it?
Yay, they're asking.
I don't understand why you girls look the way you do at all.
The twinkle in her eye dulls. Her sage smile goes flat.
Miss Eve, stop overcomplicating everything.
Good answer. Oh, switch. Zion and the ranger stay for a while longer, the conversation lapsing into a discussion about Zion National Park and the sights of the area. Eve isn't one to get excited about very many things, but as she talks about all the sites she wants to camp at and the trails she wants to hike, there's a real light that exudes from her. To be truthful, I prefer it to the hopelessness that weighs down her personality near constantly. It's easy to imagine myself with that kind of light when she's an example to follow by. Eventually, they grab hands and vanish within the blink of an eye. A quick scuff of wind is the only proof that they were ever here. I don't think they noticed me. Being observant is one of the things that I pride myself most on, so lurking out of sight isn't a difficult task. Good morning, Bio. Sifting out of the bush, I take a seat on the edge of the cliff. Hi, Bio. Because of Simon's painting, I have immediate access to this place, but I choose not to come very often. It's a painful reminder of things I know I'll need reminders of. Still, it's a wondrous view. It's unlike anything in my park. In me. Yeah, the bakery's closed, guys. The sky turns a magical golden orange. It's as if the sunset is jealous and has chosen to copy the colors of the very mountains it sets behind. The river is not jealous, however. It naturally reflects whatever surrounds it. The river can be whatever it wants and whatever it needs to be. So I sit there, hoping that the blue strands of my hair can do the same as the rivers they invoke, to reflect the things in front of me, even if they are not what I am, so I can chameleon myself as those things, perhaps eventually becoming them in earnest. Go home! I do that until the light sinks below the horizon. Then the river only reflects the darkness. And eventually, the moon. Thank you for the follow. Welcome. The static, the collision of the natural and the unseen. Then there is darkness. And now there is rain. I stand in front of the door. Immediate access to anywhere within the confines of this park, and I'm still too much of a coward to zap myself inside. The lightning sizzles across the sky, and for precious milliseconds it lights up the dark shadows of the surrounding mountains as if it were day. Oh, I'm so sorry. I hate mosquitoes, especially when you're trying to sleep. That's the worst. Nova, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the bunker. Welcome. His younger brother, Thunder, moans, booming at me, demanding that I face what my panic has wrought. I could stay out here forever and ignore it. But I choose not to. I twist the knob and creep through the door. The inside of the cabin is blanketed in shadows. No electricity, not even fire. The dim luminescence of the outside world, the light that would be there if even the sun itself was snuffed out, bleeds through the windows. There is no such thing as pitch black.
Yosemite? Is that you?
Her voice is a groggy whisper, yet even that feels like a challenge, as do most things from her. The urge to answer it is just too great.
No, I'm an intruder, here to desecrate your federal property.
Shh. Not so loud. The others are sleeping.
Oh. I didn't know.
My banter just got shut down, utterly. It feels embarrassing.
Well, don't just stand there. You're letting all the cold air in.
My heart somersaults as I hurry to shut the door. Quietly, of course. The atmosphere is so strange here, as if the entire cabin's axis has been shifted. Subtle, but noticeable. The floorboards squeak as I tiptoe across the cabin. I take another step. There's a quiet grunt. More of an irritated breath than a growl. I look down to see the coyote puppy baring his top row of teeth at me. He's laying on his side, legs and ears spread out. It lessens the danger, but I scurry to the ranger-shaped outline on the couch anyway.
Doc, my teeth keep falling out. Yum.
Yellowstone is also sitting on the couch, slouched over onto Eve's shoulder and drooling. Incoherent dream words slip out of her between snores.
Look.
Her eyes signal down. Curled up like a fetus, Scion takes up the last free cushion, but is small enough for the couch to still feel spacious. There's a soft rhythm to her breath. Her sleep always seems so peaceful, no murmurs or snores. It's such a contrast to the panic she carries with her throughout the day. Gives me the impression that the life she leads when she's dreaming may be the real one, and all of this is just a brief and bittersweet vision, a byproduct. I brush her bangs out of the way of her forehead and run my fingers through the rest of her hair. It's soft and weightless, as if it were made from the fabric and strands of all the feathers that have ever fallen from her wings.
There's something broken in me, isn't there?
Aww.
Welcome to the club. Now sit down.
Trauma sisters. Is that an offer? A demand? Probably both. I hesitate, and somehow I know that I'll be doing that a lot more lately. Hesitating, thinking, even though I already do far too much of the latter. Fear of forgetting and the fear of tomorrow will continue to color everything I do from now on. Just as it's coloring my perception of Zion at this very moment. from loving mentor to child I love and now to enigma. Everything is shifting. I know that, despite how much I try to fight against it. Does doing so make me a worse version of myself? I want to uncover truths. It's all I devote myself to. Yet here I am, kicking against the inconvenient ones. No! They showed this earlier. It was a flash forward. What the? I slide onto the couch, careful not to stir Zion. Gently, I shift her onto my lap. She tosses, and my heart drops as I try to will her from waking up. It seems to work, 'cause she only nuzzles herself deeper into me. Eve does her best to turn her head as she tries to navigate the uncomfortable position of Yellowstone's volcano weighing down most of her left neck muscles.
I called you selfish earlier.
You did?
What? Emrys! Emrys, hello! The walking pelf? What does that mean? Alright. Give me a second. I want to make sure I don't misspell anything. Yeah, I did it! How was Walking Dead? How is The Walking Dead? Welcome, welcome. Hello, Raiders. I think you're just in time for... I think the chapter's winding down, so it's all very gentle now. But hello, welcome. I'm Vivi, of Vividly Vivi, radioactive Australian VTuber. And here we do whatever the fuck I want. Bye-bang. I saw the... Oh, do you know the game? Have you seen National Park Girls? It's a visual novel. And it's going to be getting a bind-up collection sometime soon. The Love Our Parks edition, which is all 5 episodes in one, which is going to be neater. But hello. Welcome, welcome. I haven't. I was intrigued by the title. Ooh, okay then. So, if that's the case, then I need to show you something. So, National Park Girls is about national parks, but they are girls. So we have Eve, who is just a ranger, not a park. We have Yosemite National Park, Yellowstone National Park, and Zion National Park. And yes, that is a volcano on top of her head. That is a volcano. It sounds silly. It's quite emotional. It's quite emotional, despite it sounding silly. I'm really enjoying Walking Dead 2. I just beat Wolf Among Us. I have to do that too, actually. I started that like 2 months ago, and I completely neglected to play the rest, and I really want to, because Wolf Among Us is so good. I haven't played as many Telltale games as I would like to. But yeah, thank you. She is caked up. Oh my god, she's caked up on all of her art. Oh, I'm so sorry, Raiders. I have to answer my phone real quick. I'll be right back. 1 second. Guess who's getting takeout? Did you guys see me go, yeah? We're getting takeout, yay! But yeah, thank you so much, Emrys. Thank you. We're gonna keep going because I have to finish before dinner time. But thank you so much for the raid. I hope you had a wonderful time, and I appreciate that you would come by. And I love visual novels, and I highly recommend this one. Definitely. I reviewed it in 2019, and I remember back then I was sort of like, meh, I don't really like it that much. But now I feel like I'm properly reading it, and I do really like it. Like a lot. I'm enjoying reading it with everyone. All right. Good night, Nasi. Get good sleep. Good night. All right. We're going to continue, but thank you again. And thank you guys for the follows. It's lovely to meet you. Mwah.
It's not damning.
It should be, though. I know what I am.
You do?
Of course. I'm selfish. Vindictive and scared. In my crisis, I drag down others to my low. Make them as afraid and uncertain as me.
I look to Yellowstone. Her sleeps are never quite as restful as Zion's. I've heard her mumble lists of chores and expectations in her sleep before. I've heard her whimper as well. Then I look to Zion, an image of perfection that I'm unsure ever even existed, despite being so sure this morning, but probably not. The ranger, Eve, chews on her bottom lip, contemplating my words, The things I've always treated as weapons, but are really just shields.
It's true. You're all of those things. I've been right about you since day one. It's fine, though. I am too.
Aww. She reaches to pat the back of my hand twice, and draws it away. A smirk forces its way across my lips, although I can't describe it as anything but cynical.
Well, you are only human after all.
Fog presses against the window across the room, water trailing down the glass. The patter of rain taps against the roof. Till it's over, I don't believe any of us will leave this couch. Aww.
Yosemite! Wherever are you hiding? Oh dear me. If she doesn't appear soon, I won't be able to tell her a story. Our picnic will be ruined. Whatever shall I do?
Wait, I'm right here! I want to hear the story!
Oh, I'm not so sure now. It's getting rather late. Perhaps we should return to the cabin.
Preposterous!
It's preposterous, dear.
Preposterous! Please, Zion! I want to hear the story about the swallow again! Tell me the swallow story!
Goodness. I suppose I have no choice then.
No, you certainly do not.
Very well. Come sit down, little one. You can't listen to a story from all the way over there, now can you?
Coming!
Straighten your posture.
I have seen VTubers that look like this. She reminds me of Hylia. But also Yosemite's so cute!
But Zion, must I really?
Only if you respect yourself.
Now?
Once upon a time, there was a poor man in a field. In the past, he had been quite popular, but rambunctiousness had gotten the better of him, and he had spent all his valuable possessions, including his
I
clothes.
did 3
While wandering the endless field, he saw a swallow overhead.
That art is so pretty. And that's the episode 3. That's episode 3. We've done 3 episodes, you guys. Oh my god. You know what? I take it back. Somebody's completely in the right for being desperate enough to get this back. You guys are fantastic. Oh my god. So yeah, that's episode 3. Let me look. All right. So we have 2 more episodes to go, and I cannot keep going today because dinner is coming up. Ooh. I might be able to stream tomorrow, maybe. The next day I have collab with Baz at 10:30, but then after that I am free for like a fucking week. So we will be able to finish this off very soon.
Welcome back
Very
to another
soon.
edition of mine and Zion's Fireside Chat.
Hello. It's very nice to be here.
Yeah, it is a quarter past 4.
Today we're going to talk about something we've seen a whole lot of people getting discombobulated over.
Is it your head?
Not this time. Though to be really about the
Fireside Chat!
I'm starting to get a little sensitive about that.
Oh, Yellowstone.
Nah, this time we're gonna explain once and for all the difference between a national park and a national monument.
Yay, learning.
There's a surprising amount of confusion over this, so hopefully we'll be able to help.
It ain't that surprising. I mean, they both got the word national in them. Most folks just zone out after the first word or phrase.
They do?
Oh, maybe only I do that.
I love you, Yellowstone.
Wait, why doesn't it sound like you mean it?
So, there are more details to go into, but the most important thing to understand is that a national park can only be established by an act of Congress. A national monument is established through a presidential proclamation.
Huh? It's that simple? Hot diggity, this is gonna be our shortest episode yet!
Not so fast, Yellowstone. These nice people are here to be educated. We have to do our jobs for their sake.
Huh? Are you sure? What if they get funny ideas and start making weird fan art about National Monument girls? I don't think I'm ready for that.
I am. Let's go.
It's a risk we have to be willing to take for education.
For education.
Education. So, if national parks are decided by Congress and national monuments are decided by the president, doesn't that mean any old place can become one or the other?
Not quite. This is when things start to get a little more complicated.
Please bear with us by standing your ground and appearing large.
Yellowstone, you're confusing your bears again.
Okay.
Even if that's true, it'll never stop me from bearing my soul.
She's such a dog. She's such a dog.
For monuments, it's a little easier. As long as a building, site, or piece of land is significant in some way, then it can be declared a national monument. In fact, this is how we determine the difference between a national historic site and a national historical park.
Don't tell me there's a difference. Boy, this is only getting more and more confusing.
I'll try my best to explain. Basically, sites can be historic in that significant events happened there, like Ford's Theater, where President Lincoln was assassinated.
Eve's Cake is a national monument. Yes.
Meanwhile, parks are designated independently of any events that may have occurred there. They may be historical, but in order for a place to be considered a park, national historic or otherwise, it has to have opportunities for recreational activities.
Like hiking and rock climbing and other trail junk.
That's right. Size is also important too. Small parks used to be established on occasion, but in modern times, it's expected for a park to be big enough for broad use.
So if it makes you feel itty-bitty and tiny, then it's probably a park?
That's a good way to look at it, although there will always be exceptions.
What's the smallest national park?
Seems like there's a tractor load of those.
Yeah, it's a teeny bit messy. Most monuments, parks, and sites are managed by the National Park Service, though. But sometimes, the Bureau of Land Management is in charge of them, or even other departments.
Now remember, guys, we're learning about American national parks. It could be different depending on what country you're in.
Sometimes people push for things to be more organized, but that's probably
Some
the wrong
bullshit in
route,
Missouri.
so you shouldn't hold your breath.
Not going there, Donut Bro.
No, seriously, Yellowstone, stop holding your breath.
Oh well, guess for now we just gotta keep appreciating the messy beauty we got now. Who cares about names or what's official? As long as folks get a chance to see neato places, it's all square in my book.
Just make sure to come visit us first, or else we'll get lonely.
Well, thanks for dropping by, but it
Aw.
looks like we gotta split. Catch you next time, campers, and remember to love our parks!
Yay!
Bye-bye!
Bye-bye! Okay, we have to immediately save. What's... Okay, save. Return to title. Alright! That's another one for the books we have done today. I love this. I'm so happy you're enjoying it. I can't just leave my life and go visit a national park, you nuts. But they'll miss you. The smallest national park in the US. All right, let me look at this real quick and then we'll find someone to raid. The smallest national park in the US. It isn't, okay. I'm just making sure. Properties. Boop, boop. The smallest national park in the United States is Gateway. Whoa. I just clicked something over there and it tried to open something. Not allowed. Not allowed. Don't do that to me. Bad website. Bad. Don't do that. Don't do that website. That was a real ugly look on you. You looked like a very neat website until you started trying to click things. Okay. Gateway Arch National Park. So it's this thing? Symbolizes St. Louis's role as the gateway to the West during the period of American territorial expansion, commemorates the westward exploration and settlements of the United States. And it's got this big thing. All right, cool. The Arch. Oh, you've been there? Oh, well, congratulations. You've been to the smallest national park in the United States, which is 91 acres. All right, we're gonna find someone to raid, but thank you guys so much. Like, I say this every time, but I have been like, I was nervous to stream like a visual novel, but we've been having fun and I've been enjoying it and I'm glad. I'm glad that we've been able to do this. Let me see if there's anyone doing anything I'm particularly interested in. Oh, actually I do see some cute stuff. 1 second. One. And asleep. No, none of that. None of that. Absolutely not. Okay, I think I know. What? Oh, Aki the Dream! Thank you for the raid! Oh, we were just wrapping up! Oh, thank you! I appreciate it though. How was your stream? Let me get you a shout out. Thank you. How is Mobile Legends Bang Bang? Is that a mobile game? But yeah, welcome. We are just gonna be wrapping up for now because I have to go get dinner sorted. We just finished episode 3 of National Park Girls and I'm really happy about it. It was really fun. I think... Yeah, okay. I don't think they're ending right now, so this will be, what are we making for dinner? Boy is sick, so we're making nothing. We're getting takeout. He doesn't feel like anything we have, so yeah. I'm so sorry, raiders, but this is a raid train. Yeah, I hope you have a great day too. Thank you so much for the raid. I do appreciate it. I hope you had a really lovely stream. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. But yes. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. The next time I will stream, I have D&D tomorrow, so I don't know if I'll stream in the middle of the day then. I'll probably stream something different in the evening if I do stream. And then the day after that, I have a collab with Baz at 10:30 p.m. So we probably will not have any more National Park Girls for at least 2 days. But then after that, we might smash it out like in maybe 1 or 2 days. Because we have two more chapters to go and then we're done. But I kind of like keeping the chapters separate because that means that they're bite-sized and we can digest them a bit easier. But yeah, thank you guys so much for hanging out. Thank you for all the company. Thank you for all the support. And yeah, I'm happy. I am happy. Yes. So yeah, I will see you guys soon. Okay? We're gonna raid Amai Ami, who is playing Sticky Business. Yeah. All right. I will see you guys soon. All right. Treat yourselves good. Eat something yummy. Sleep well. Mwah. I'll see you soon. Bye. Bacha.